Hello everyone, welcome in. My name is Vivian Vixen. I go by V for short. I'm the goddess of trophies, achievements, and now VTuber drama. My appearance changes based on the phase of the moon. Hello. But yeah, so today we're gonna cover some VTuber drama. It should be fun, should be. What outfit shall I go with? Should I go with this outfit or should I go with that outfit? What am I feeling? You know what? We'll stick with the usual. We'll stick with the usual today. The god of VTuber drama. Exactly. I'm glad you got it, Snow. Alright, congratulations, Snow, with the Platinum Trophy. Fearless with the gold. PT with silver. Icy Jackets with the bronze. And PT with his 46 participation trophy. Congrats. But yeah, as mentioned in Discord, we are gonna do a little bit of VShojo reacting today. With all the drama going on, because it's kind of crazy. Like, VShojo was the last agency that anyone thought would be corrupt. Like, if this came out about Niji Sanji, everyone would just be blink and be like, okay. We kind of saw that coming, because I mean, it's Niji Sanji. We already saw that coming. But VShojo, everybody, like, especially VTubers, all strived and hoped to one day be in a company like VShojo, because you get to keep your IP. It seemed like the members were happy, and it was just the gold standard. Then people started leaving and speculation occurred, and I'm like, nah, it's fine. Iron Mouse is there. As long as Iron Mouse is there, then they're good. Like, it's not bad if Iron Mouse is there. Obviously, not bad. And then, yeah, we got the announcement yesterday that Iron Mouse is leaving VShojo. And we are gonna talk about that today. And it seems other people have had issues too. The issue too is legally they cannot say much, because they are gonna go with legal proceedings. So because of that, they really can't say much, but they can just give us a little taste. Just a little taste. Once all the legal proceedings are finished, which will be months down the line, let's face it, then they can give us more information. But as of right now, we just have the little tidbits. Now, I always felt like VShojo had stuff going on from the start. The members always seem so different to me after joining, as opposed to as when they were all indie. I can't say if that's true or not, because I don't know any of the members prior to them joining VShojo. So I cannot say yes or no. I agree. To me, it seemed like, compared to Niji Sanji, for sure, they were the gold standard before this year. This year is when everything kind of just blew up and people started leaving out the gates from left and right. Hololive, Hololive seems to be okay. It seems to be better than VShojo right now, at least. But we don't know what's going on with Hololive, because people have been leaving Hololive as well, due to quote-unquote management. So I wonder if stuff's gonna come out from Hololive in regards to what's going on there. I never, like I said, VShojo, if I ever joined a VTuber agency, I would have wanted to join VShojo. The main reason is because you get to keep your IP. So if shit hits the fan like it did right here, you get to stay as yourself. Hololive, you don't get that. Everyone knows Gargura had to leave and she came back as Saba. And then others as well. So yeah, you don't get that little cushion, I guess I would say. But after this, like, I feel like corporate VTubers is gonna become a thing of the past, because they have just shown time and time again that they cannot do this right. they cannot put the talents first for whatever reason. Whether it's, I guess it's mostly greed, I'm guessing it's mostly greed. But they cannot put their talents first no matter what. And that's when the issues become apparent. The fact that they screwed over Iron Mouse, the face of VShojo. She is the face of VShojo. Like, you think of VShojo, you think Iron Mouse. You don't think the CEO. Who is the CEO? Some Asian guy. I looked it up. Gunguro? I think he goes Gunguro on Twitter. You don't know what he looks like. Like, he's not the face of VShojo. It is Iron Mouse. So yeah. Dang, the name title you made is a funny, but yes, I'm quite talented. I'm glad you could see my talent in this. You have to remember too that on Hololive's end, they are an idol company first. So that's why a lot of them end up leaving, because they can't keep up with the demands and schedule that Hololive expects. I don't think that's true, because didn't Gargura, like, literally not stream for months at a time? Like, it seems like Hololive is very lenient, honestly, when it comes to schedule. Very lenient. I would watch your comedy shows for free, then buy a ticket. Hey, rude? My comedy deserves tickets, okay? It deserves high-priced tickets of $99 a show for 1 hour. But no, I feel like Hololive was actually very lenient, because a lot of their talents were not streaming for months at a time. You have to remember too that when Hololive's in... Oh wait, I already read that. Oh, sorry. Saribot banned someone and I thought someone posted something else. Just kidding. Okay, but I guess that's it. I guess we can get into the video that started this all. Yeah, she kept taking breaks because she suffered from extreme anxiety behind the scenes. So she took a lot of breaks, more often than most. They do care about their talents, but they can only do so much. Yes, but at the same time, no. You are employed by an agency. You cannot... Okay, let me put it this way. Let's say you're working as dispatch. Hey, I did that before. Let's say you're working as dispatch in a high call volume center, 911, what's your emergency? You cannot be gone for a month due to anxiety. They're just gonna, like, kick you out. They're like, nope, we need people. Bye. Next person, come up. That is the thing. You cannot be like, I have anxiety. I cannot do this. It is your job on the line. If you do that in any job, your job is on the line. Any job. If you take a break here and there, okay. A couple days at a time, okay. But you cannot be gone for a couple months at a time. That does not fly in the real world. Like I said, very lenient. And if they are having that issue, she did do the correct thing in leaving to become indie, because she could not be there like she was actually employed, if that makes sense. I honestly don't blame companies, specifically the VTuber companies, if your talent is not streaming for a whole month. Like, hey, what's going on? I feel like something like an entertainment is different, because even with her gone, she is still making money from merch. Yes, but at the same time, like, with streaming, I feel like you kind of owe your subscribers to actually stream. You can't just be, like, on the back burner and be like, hey, you know what? I can't do it for the next 3-4 weeks because anxiety. Well, y'all think VShojo was fully shut down? Oh yeah, they're gone. Like, all of their talents, they're gone. They all took off VShojo from their name on Twitter. I don't know how Japan is faring. I would not be surprised if Japan VShojo dissipates as well because of Keisan. Because the Keisan is the bridge between English and Japanese VShojo. So I would not be surprised with her if the Japanese VShojo members do the same thing. So VShojo is definitely in hot water. It's crazy because you all thought, like myself, oh no, Cinder drama is peak drama. It's not gonna get better than this. Like, who does that? And then VShojo's like, hold my beer. I got this. Keisan pulled that power move of bringing the JP CEO of VShojo on this morning. Yeah, I heard about that. We'll look into that, I'm sure. Keisan quit while in a call with the CEO on stream. The Japanese side definitely not looking good. Yeah. So I know Keisan was kind of like the mother figure to the Japanese girls, like Iron Mouse was to the English girls. So, yeah, not looking good. Not looking good. Alright, let's go ahead, and I guess we'll go ahead and get into the first video, which explains how all this first started. With Iron Mouse. Alright, so this is the original video with Iron Mouse. How many views does it have? Almost 1 million views, so it's getting up there. 20 hours ago. Almost 1 million views. So if you don't know what's going on, here it is.
Leaving VShojo. Unfortunately.
Oh, hold on. I need to do the... Hold on. Let me get the sound on. There we go. There we go. We got sound.
I am leaving VShojo. Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by VShojo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from VShojo.
$500,000. Where is the money? Where is this money? Is it just sitting in a bank account? Are they gonna pull the whole, yeah, it's sitting in the bank account, like that one guy did, who did the charity and then didn't pay it for like 3 years? Is that what they're gonna say? They're gonna be like, yeah, no, we planned on giving it, we just didn't do it yet. Who was it that did that? The charity fraud. And then he got called out and then he donated it after the fact. After they sat on that money. And of course, the amount of money went up due to inflation, but they didn't take inflation into account. The completionist. Thank you. Thank you, Scroll. Thank you. I couldn't think of who it was, but yeah. Is that what they're gonna do right now? Because I could totally see that happening. The problem with that, though, is legally, so they're based in California, right? I decided to do a little Google research. You have to have that money, when you do a fundraiser and complete a fundraiser, you have to give that money within 5 business days to the organization. 5 business days. It has been a year. A year. So obviously, that ain't gonna fly. The whole, oh, we had it sitting in a bank account. No, legally, they are based in California, and per California law, with some exceptions, like a few weeks, I think, up to a few weeks if there's stuff going on, you are supposed to give that money from a fundraiser over to the organization. Let me see. If I remember correctly, Keisan is the reason they made the JP site so she could join VShojo. Interesting. I did hear also that Keisan might be... No, I think it's Project Melody. Project Melody might be nervous right now too, because it might have something to do with her visa. So they might like take off her Japanese visa if she's no longer employed with VShojo, which doesn't make sense because Project Melody is considered on the, well, I guess English side. But she might be in Japan under the Japanese visa for VShojo. Which that brings a whole other issue. And that's just sad. That's just sad. They literally screwed over these people's lives in a way other than just not paying them, if that's the case. The audio's being doubled. Oh shoot, why is it being doubled? Hold on. Let me figure this out. Hold on.
I'm
Oh, I see. Okay, we're good. You know what? Nah, we're good. I got this. Don't worry. I got this, you guys. Alright. Kason is a beast behind the scenes. She's the entire reason Hololive has expanded their branch to different countries and directly responsible for Hololive EN. I had to use autocorrect. I'm a smart internet fox. Hey yo, what's up, gang? Hello, the real meal deal. Welcome in. We are going over some VShojo drama. It's probably the biggest VTuber drama you can think of. We thought Cinder drama was the biggest. No, it's the VShojo drama. Hello. Thank you so much for the head pats, PT. Thank you.
here today is owed over $500,000 from VShojo. I know that this is a lot, and it's very important for me to be honest with all of you. I really want to tell you everything, but unfortunately right now, I have been instructed by my attorney to wait for more of the legal procedure to unfold. So one day, I will be able to tell you the full story.
Okay, so, quick recap. Iron Mouse, who's the face of VShojo, is leaving VShojo because they did not pay over $500K in funds to an organization from a fundraiser they were supposed to pay. It's been about a year. And also, they have not paid her an undisclosed amount of money. We don't know how much, but it's probably a lot. I've heard supposedly they haven't paid Kason since September. I'm not sure if that's true. We're gonna go into videos and see. Which, that's a lot of money they are not paying out.
But for now, I just need to let you know that I will no longer be a part of VShojo. If you give me a moment of your time, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I know for a lot of people right now that this might be the first time you were ever watching me. I became a VTuber because I really wanted to make friends. I was very lonely due to the fact that I have a primary immune deficiency disease called CVID. I basically have a low to near non-functioning immune system, which means I get sick a lot, and it caused me to remain isolated for long periods of my life. So then I found streaming, and I thought about giving it a try because I wanted to see if I could...
Okay, this has nothing to do with what's going on, but I love Iron Mouse's tail. Like, just watching the tail back and forth in the background. Look at...
make some friends online.
I love her tail, and the chain on the tail. I'm
honestly
sorry. Okay,
couldn't
I'll be quiet.
ever leave my room. I never really expected to grow an audience or anything. It was one of the last things on my mind. I just thought that I would stream to, 5 to 10 people and just hang out from time to time, make some friends, play games, and just continue on with my life. But unfortunately, I was too scared to stream with my face. So a friend of mine recommended that I try an app called FaceRig that would allow me to use an anime avatar to...
Okay, so, I didn't know how to be a VTuber. I heard about VTubing in 2020, and I wanted to get into it. But I was scared I would not be able to understand how to do it, so I put it off for like 3 years. Because I was scared I was going to spend a bunch of money and not know how to actually VTube for nothing. I ended up spending like, what was it, $3,000 for a PC in 2023, about 1,000 something for a monitor. It was an extra wide monitor. Ended up only using that for about, what, 8 months before I decided to go with a dual model setup, because I was using a iPad for chill, like read chat and like struggle, and then I was told 2 monitor setup was better, so I decided to get rid of the very expensive monitor I had bought and got the 2 monitors, and then I decided 2 monitors is not enough. I need 3 monitors. 3 monitors is perfect. It's peak. But yeah, when I first started, like, I spent probably about 5,000. I want to say 8,000 because of the model and all the assets and stuff. I spent right out the gate $8,000 hoping I would understand what I'm doing. It was a big gamble because I'm like, I am not tech savvy. I have not used a computer for years. So yeah, it was a big leap. So it took me like 3 years to get into it before I actually took that leap. Your tail also moves like that, I think. Yeah, my tail moves pretty nice. I like how my tail moves, and it's fluffy. God, that brings me back. I haven't thought about face rig in years. Yeah, like, I didn't know the programs or how to go about it, but finally I just said, screw it, I'm jumping in, and that's where we are today. And you won the jackpot on the gamble. I did. Hey V, are you gonna rewrite one of the game show questions? I was thinking about that. I was actually thinking about that, Soulbane. I literally, last night, while you were streaming, I wanted to mention it, but I'm like, nope. This is his stream. I'm not going to mention all the big VTuber drama going on right now. This is his stream. I'm not going to do that. He is the show right now. Don't mention it. But oh my God, Soulbane, did you hear? I wanted to say so bad, but you were streaming. I'm like, nope. Not going to do it. Not mention it. Okay. I wanted to, but I was like, I don't know if he'll appreciate that big drama dump, but at the same time, it's juicy. I used FaceRig for a bit when I started. Gotcha. Yeah, I never used FaceRig. VTube Studio was already a thing. Soulbane, quick, make a video about your time in VShojo and have V react to it. Oh my God. Soulbane, you do V to write your question. You make V write your questions. I am gonna be a game show host this August. We hope in August. I'm gonna be a game show co-host. So I did help write some of the questions. They're not very good questions, the ones I wrote, but the VTuber drama category, I wrote all that. That one I wrote. I didn't hear it during the stream, but I learned about it post-stream. Gotcha. Yeah, no, it happened while you were streaming, and I wanted to let you know, but I'm like, no, I'll be quiet. Being a VTuber sounds exhausting. No, it spices life up. Everybody needs a little bit of life or spice in their life. He is going to be the co-host. This is going to be an experience. Hey, rude. I'm just gonna sit there and look pretty. That is my only job as a co-host. I am not the main person in the game show. That's the contestants. So I'm just gonna sit there and look pretty. Ooh woo, oh woo, ada, ada. My time in VShojo sucked because Shy Lily keeps stealing all my boy clothes and replacing them with girl clothes, and when I confronted her about it, she said whoop whoop, then ran off giggly. Soulbane, Shy Lily is not in VShojo. Shy Lily is not in VShojo. I could see why you would think that, because she is a very popular VTuber, and usually indies do not get up there, but she is not in VShojo. That's why it sucked. I don't know how she got in. Oh my God. Hello, Griff. Welcome in. You're in time for some VTuber drama we're going over. B being the Comedic relief. Oh no, I am not the comedic relief. Dang it. V, don't scare the guests that answering the questions. The co-host is the main attraction, V. You have to make the jokes and keep us entertained. Nah, Soulbane's the main host, so that's his job. Mine is just to stand there and look pretty. Which I do naturally, so it's perfect for me. As long as Icy doesn't co-host, we will be fine. Icy has co-hosted a couple, I think? I think he's co-hosted a couple, maybe just one. But I think he's co-hosted a couple. Alright, let's get back into what Iron Mouse wants to say.
Stream, and that's how I started VTubing.
Oh my gosh, the cat has zoomies. Sorry. Oh gosh, the cat really has zoomies. You okay there? Yeah? Okay, sorry. Kitty usually does not get zoomies like this. Throws me off. Okay. I forgot. V has never watched any television show ever. She doesn't know the co-host is the most essential part of the shows. So who are the 4 people that V will cause chaos? I mean, asking the question to. So it's gonna be Deem, Lynn, Icy, because I mean Icy's gotta be there, and Malva. Those are the 4 people that are gonna be in the game show. V has been on like 6 game shows and doesn't know what the co-host does. Crazy. I know what the co-host does. They sit there and look pretty.
It took me a while to take it seriously and even begin to think about maybe being able to grow a community and even make this a career. I think I really started to take it seriously around the time when I was approached to join VShojo. And it was through VShojo that I was able to grow into the Iron Mouse that I am today. When I was approached in 2020 and asked to join VShojo, it seemed like a good idea, but I honestly did not know if I could ever be a corporal VTuber because I felt like I just couldn't. In my mind, I saw myself as unhireable, which is why stream.
I was not muted. You have no proof. I was not muted. You have 0 proof of that. I just pushed up the video a little bit, okay? Alright, I'm glad you understand. You operate the buzzer. Shoot, I actually forgot I actually have a job to do, and that's the buzzer. I forgot I actually have to do something. Darn, so you mean I can't just zone off and stand there and look pretty? That's not my main job? I thought that was my main job. Hello, HH, welcome in, and hello, Vampiric Fox, welcome in. How are you doing? Okay, so let me see. In retrospect, the co-host does all the work while the host just talks. Oh god, V. Oh god, you gave V that task to prepare for the craziest game show ever. Or craziest game show miss. Oh my god, you guys are typing too fast. I can't scroll up and read. Screw it, I give up. You guys type too much. I can't anymore. You were muted. I was not muted. The proof is that I'm always right. Nope, always wrong. Soulbane, you realize this is the person you hired as your co-host. I'm in the business of making content. It isn't about having things run right. It's about making content. V, this ain't the wheel of misfortune. Laugh out loud. Good luck is all I have to say. I am a fox and I bring good luck. He doesn't need good luck because I'm already there. Ew. And name something that is more content driven than having V in charge of something important. Rude? You know, I could make a joke about that and be like, how do you think I did as a 911 operator when I was training? do you think I did? You're right, I'm looking forward to it now. Oh, thank you, Explode, for the stretch. And the drink. Let me get some water. I love the fact that V is just constantly roasted and doubted by chat. Keyword was, quote unquote. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't pass. Let's be honest. That's why my training did not go well. That's why I ended up in records instead. I tried my best. We are never getting through all of this. It's been 30 minutes and here we are like 5 to 7 minutes into the first video. We're actually 3 minutes and 17 seconds into the first video. We're not even at the 5-minute point, okay, Explode? We will get through this. We will. It'll just take a long time. V got fired because she kept sending the people to the wrong location or hung up on them by accident. Actually, no and no. It was more of, there's a whole reason. I'll just say, the place I was training for doesn't do training very well. We had thousands of applicants. Only 6 of us passed to the final stage to go into the academy. 5 of us passed the academy. 1 didn't pass. And then nobody in the academy passed the training. One of the people in the academy, in my academy, that was in the training, did not pass. And he had 1 year of experience as an 911 operator for the fire department. So he already had a year experience with the fire department, but could not pass the training for the police. So I feel like it was something to do with the training specifically. V is a 911 operator. Hello, 911, what's your emergency? You're being stabbed? They can't do that. That's illegal. Hangs up. No, it was more like 911, what's your emergency? And then they'll be like, I need to report something my husband did 3 weeks ago. He left the baby in the car, or he left the 5-year-old in the car for 3 minutes. 3 weeks ago. I'm like, what? What do you mean? There's a lot of interesting calls that go through 911. It's like, this is not an emergency. This is not an emergency. Some police departments will literally, if you call 911, will tell you, call the non-emergency line and then hang up on you, which I feel is the right thing to do. Because you should not be calling 911 for something that happened 3 weeks ago. That is not what 911 is for. It's the non-emergency line. You call the non-emergency line. 24-hour stream, let's go. We are not doing a 24-hour stream. 911, what's your emergency? You're bleeding out? Well, don't do that. Ooh, woo. I'm 90% sure you're not supposed to talk about the calls you got in detail. I didn't. It wasn't big detail, though. Did I put any names? Did I say the place or the area? It's not really detail. Did I say specifics? No, that was like a summary. Does anyone remember the lady that burned to death in her home because the emergency center operators kept transferring the call to someone else because they didn't want to take it? Okay, so that's also something. So jurisdictions is another part of that. God, we went off on a tangent. Oh my God. So some calls happen right on the edge of a jurisdiction where one side of the street is one police agency, the other side of the street is another police agency. And then sometimes, of course, like car accidents and stuff happen right in the intersection, and they will literally argue back and forth whose jurisdiction it is. And it's just like, somebody just take it. It doesn't matter. Like, I would have people coming in who are like, yeah, this agency sent us over here when it happened on these streets. And I look and I'm like, why didn't they just take it? Why? It's right on the border. Like, they could have taken it. Instead, they send you over here when they're already out there? Like, are you kidding me? Oh my god, yeah, no, no. 911, what's your emergency? No, we don't have a cheese pizza. You know what? Speaking about cheese pizza, someone has literally ordered a cheese pizza from 911, but they were doing it in a way to, like, tell the person what was going on. So the person who answered the phone was like, oh yeah, so if you want extra cheese, say extra, or how did they word it? They were like, if he has a weapon, say you want extra cheese on the pizza. And she's like, yes, extra cheese. It was that kind of thing. So people have called 911 because the person, their captor, is right there next to him. And they tried to make it so like they're ordering a pizza when in fact something else is going on. So the 911 operator has to pick up on that. 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, I can dispatch an officer to your location, but before I do, how much do you want to tip for my services? 20% or 30%? Obviously, 30 is not enough. We need a whole 50%. I remember that story. Yeah. It's pretty common for an abuse partner to order pizza from 911. Yeah. Me, when my wife orders a yes, no pizza, oh my god. It's similar ordering an angel shot from a bar. All right, here we go.
Worked for me.
We'll get back to the
boss,
actual task at hand.
No strict rules. I had no hours, no expectations. It was all up to me, and due to the fact that I have lived...
See, the no hours, no expectations. If you need to take months off of work or VTubing, I feel like indie is the way to go. You should not be in a corporate VTubing scene if you are gonna be taking months off at a time. Hello, welcome in, Ronnie, welcome in.
My life, chronically ill, and being unable to do much of anything.
And then not only that, but Iron Mouse, she streams a lot. Despite everything she goes through, she streams a lot. So, like, the whole anxiety thing and, like, yeah, I can't stream for 2 months because of anxiety. I'm sorry, but, like, this right here, like, she made sure to stream because it's kind of like that whole, I need to hold myself accountable because people are relying on me. They are spending money on subs and stuff, and if I am not there, why are they spending money on subs?
I just felt like there was no way that anyone would ever take me or want me. For a while, I was struggling to make a decision because I was afraid about my anonymity and afraid about trusting people because I felt like every time I put my trust in people, it always ends in grief for me.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I keep grabbing water and then I forget to unmute myself. Sorry. Alright, I don't know. I think people taking anxiety breaks from content creation is definitely understandable. Yes, but I think to some extent. So taking a couple weeks off, yes, understandable, but in a real work environment, I mentioned this before, they would not allow you to take off a couple weeks. Which couple weeks is fine, but I'm talking about the VTubers who are in corporate situations who will stream like 1 time in 2 months. And it's like, you're in a corporate setting, you have to be held accountable for that. It's I'm sorry, but you kind of need to be held accountable. And I feel like these corporates, most of them they are very lenient towards that. They are. But at the same time, there's people like Iron Mouse who have like actual conditions, who streams all the time. All the time. I'm not saying that anxiety is not an actual condition. I'll be honest, every time just before I'm gonna hit go live, I get anxiety. I sometimes get anxiety while talking like I am right now. Like, it's just, but like pressing the go live button is anxiety inducing. I understand that. It's even more so for someone who has even more people watching them, because you have to like think about what you're saying. But like, I just feel like you owe your viewers to work, if that makes sense. Imagine a life where your every word is taken to gospel by a percent of your audience. You have to basically police every action, and that's exhausting. Yeah, like I said, it's more anxiety ridden when you have even more people watching you. But at the same time, I feel like you have to kind of push through that if you want to continue where you're at, especially if you're a corporate VTuber. That's why I feel like if you feel like you need to take those large chunks off, you should be indie, and you can do what you want. Even though I do feel like even indies should be held accountable and still not take off 2 months and only stream 1 time in those 2 months. But I mean, if people want to support that, that's fine. That's on them. But I feel like I have to be working in order to make my viewers happy and make it seem like they're actually putting their effort and money and time into something, if that makes sense. That's why I make sure I keep expectations for myself low, so nobody in chat takes my word as anything more than an insane ramblings of crazy man. I guess I just have high expectations for myself. I don't like to take it easy. Yesterday was probably the first time when I'm not on vacation. Well, I'm unemployed. But that I was not like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. At the end of the day, I started doing a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm just always like busy. But I do feel like I myself need to slow down a little, and that's what I'm starting to do. Now that I'm unemployed, I'm slowing down a little. I'm gonna see about making some long form content. That is the plan. Will I actually do it? I don't know. Let us hear the slurp of water. No, that's why I mute myself, because I don't want you guys to. Bro, why do I keep waking up to this playing on my TV? Probably because, this is what's going on right now with VShojo. Maybe that's why. I started an entire religion with you. Also, fun fact, music is one of the main things I use to regulate my own anxiety. Hence why I'm always playing something. Music is awesome. I love music. Like, music, especially the emo music. The emo music I feel the emo music. I force chat to hear the water so they don't tell me I don't drink. You know what? Fair point, Mill. Fair point. Would you consider yourself to be a good alarm? Like, wake up, wake up. Apparently, somebody said, why do I keep waking up to this playing on my TV? So apparently I'm a great alarm. Apparently, which like, hey everyone. You guys can use me as your own alarm. Ooh woo, oh woo, ada, ada.
So I was worried about expectations and 1,000,001 other things, but I ultimately decided to join VShojo. It really pains me that I am unable to fully explain why I am leaving. But for right now, here's what I am allowed to share with you. I would always be told how important I was for the company.
Okay, so this part is messed up. So this part, the way she words it makes it seem like they weren't intentionally making her feel guilty or guilt tripping her, but at the same time it feels guilt trippy. So I don't know if this part was like meant to be guilt trippy or not. So let's listen to this part.
Allowed to share with you. I would always be told how important I was for the company, and I was always told that I was needed in order for the company to succeed. Although that was very positive to hear, it put a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on me to the point where I felt guilt tripped into signing. I felt responsible for everybody. I felt responsible for staff and talent alike. And I felt like if I didn't do this and if I didn't stay, I was hurting everybody and I was destroying everybody's life. But this didn't feel right with me, and I began to feel extremely uncomfortable. As my viewers know, privacy has always been one of my biggest concerns. I've had a lot of scary experiences in my life, so
like the way that they made it, the way that she puts it is that they told her she was very important company, she's pretty much the face of the company, da 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 da, which is true. I don't think they meant it in a guilt trippy way. I don't think. But at the same time, with how bad VShojo is doing right now, the fact that they can just make 500k just disappear from a fundraiser makes me think, oh, yeah, maybe they did do that on purpose. Because maybe they thought they could make it so she wouldn't leave and none of this would come out. Maybe that was their grand plan. Maybe. Because Iron Mouse is such a sweetheart. Maybe they thought they could take that and make it to their advantage. Turns off the uwu mode. You cannot turn off the uwu mode. Uwu? The uwu mode is here to stay. Uwu? Well, Ara. Wait, I thought she started VShojo. No, she did not start VShojo. She was one of the very first talents in VShojo, but she did not start it. She was like, I guess you could say she was a founder, but she was not the one, she's not the CEO or anything like that. She was one of the first talents along with a few others. I can't remember all who. There's like, I think Centrea was one. And then there was, I think Giga was one, if I'm not mistaken. Nyanners was another. Silvervel was another. They were the first talents that were part of VShojo. Hello, Johnny Coffee. Welcome in. Now I think Icy is the only one allowed to throw. Oh my gosh, what's going on? They guilt trip her hard. Yeah, but I don't know if that was their intention. Part of me wants to be like, no, that wasn't their intention. And she doesn't seem to make it seem like that was their intention. But at the same time, I have no idea. I was not there. Gaslight, guilt trip, gatekeep, girl boss. Zin was one she just left to. Yes. And Treya was also one. Mouse, Silver, Vay, Nyanners, Zen, Fruit, and the blonde one who I always forget about. Yeah, so I named most of them. I forgot Vebe, because Vebe also left. I forgot Vebe. I forgot Fruit, and then the blonde one. I don't know. I can't think of who that is.
one amazing thing for me was the fact that VShojo handled all my payments, and it meant that I never had to give out any of my personal information. So that was always a blessing to me. As time went on, I decided that I wanted to try to start pulling out my remaining funds because
So she wanted to start pulling out her remaining funds.
I wanted to start taking over my own finances.
So this all started when she wanted to take out her funds because she wanted to start taking over her own finances. This is where she realizes something is not adding up.
This is what led me to this point. Throughout the years, Connor and I have raised around $4 million for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. The majority of the money raised is through Tiltify at events like the Cyclothon, the charity
Haha,
auction,
you missed,
and other
girl.
miscellaneous
Nah.
events that we've had. However, because of the success of my first subathon, I decided to donate half the earnings of my following 2 subathons to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. The first time I tried this, it worked great. Over 200,000 people
Ronnie,
supported
you
me,
missed.
and because of that, we raised over $329,350 to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Because the money came
I like how the captions did that. 329,000.
the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Because the money came from my Twitch revenue,
I would think I went
instead of
back
the
too much.
Tiltify link, it required VShojo to make the donation on my behalf. They promptly sent the payment, and the subathon was a huge success. So I decided to do it again the next year. My last
Corpo makes too much problem. India's better. Yeah, well, the thing is, PT, at least I thought Corpo was a good idea for VShojo, because I thought VShojo was like the only good Corpo. But after all this mess, there is no good Corpo. I'm sorry, but I don't see corporate VTubing continuing after this, unless if someone steps up to the plate and actually makes a good corporate VTubing agency, which is going to take a lot because let's face it, VTubers are not going to be trusting of Corpro anymore after this. Especially after this, because VShojo seemed to be like the last good company. Hime Hajima was her name. Sydney, who is Giku's wife. Ah, gotcha. Doesn't she like never stream on that account though? The VTuber Corporation. Nah. I don't want to be the leader of a VTuber corporation. That sounds like too much drama. It sounds like it's gonna be high schooler drama. I don't want that. I'm sorry. I like to watch from afar. I don't want to be in it. Okay. Joke's on you. I've never trusted corpos regardless of what they sell. I mean, fair point, fair point. You're very distrusting. I don't blame you. A lot of people are. I just expected better from VShojo, that's all.
last subathon was one of the biggest events I've ever done. The support was overwhelming, and I ended up getting over 300,000 subscribers and breaking the all-time sub record. But this also meant that we had raised $515,000 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I once again asked VShojo to make the donation on my behalf, but unfortunately, still a year later, VShojo has not paid the charity. The Immune Deficiency Foundation means the world to me. Connor and I have both spent a ton.
So remember, a year later, they have not even paid the foundation that the charity was supposed to go to. And I looked it up, and they are based in California, and California law says you're supposed to give that money to the charity within 5 days. That has not happened. So being like, oh yeah, it was just in a bank account. No, that's not going to fly here. Not going to fly. Show me an honest corpo, and I'll show you a corpo that cooks their books and lies to the public. Cyberpunk 2077 taught me not to trust corpo. The Soulbane Corporation. Corporations never get big enough get big through honesty or care for their employees. I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard Costco is a good corporate company. I don't know if it's true, but they seem to not really be under any fire that I can think of. But that, like I said, that I can think of. I haven't really looked into it. Corpos in general, because I think the guys who make Arizona tea are pretty chill. I take your sub money and spend it on making hot girls draw me looking hot to pull in more sub money. It's a pyramid scheme. Soulbane, I need you to give me all your ideas. I need those ideas for myself.
One of energy, time, and resources raising money for charity. And we're both so proud to be able to say that we've raised nearly $4 million for charity. We almost always raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, They help people with primary immune deficiency diseases, or PI, which are inherited disorders where a part of the body's immune system is missing or doesn't function properly, which makes people like me more prone to infection. And this includes over 450 different conditions. The Immune Deficiency Foundation is a charity that is near and dear to my heart and has a particular significance in my life. When my health first started getting really bad, the Immune Deficiency Foundation helped me immensely when I really had nowhere else to turn. I was terrified, I was lonely, and I was confused.
The few good corporos like Arizona Tea and Costco are only good because a good person holds the highest power. The second they croak, some greedy bastard is taking the seat and the company is going to shit. The individual at top is good, but the corpo is set up to fall apart at a moment's notice. The real blight on capitalism is shareholders. The stock market is a mistake and should burn. Yeah, it's greediness is definitely an issue we have in the United States, especially with corporate. It's also a me sort of mentality that we have here, as opposed to other areas. Like, let's say in Asia culture, it's us, not me. It's the team. It's the team that is important, not the individual. But that also makes it so people are doing a load amount of overtime to try to keep up expectations for the team. But with that being said, we are starting ad break, you guys, so we will be right back. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone, and congratulations. You guys all survived the ad apocalypse. If you are still standing, if you are no longer standing with us, we are sorry. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Your sacrifice allows us to continue on. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back into the drama.
I honestly didn't really know what was going on, and I never ever want anyone else to go through that. This entire situation has broken me. I just wanted to do something good and to give back to a community that helped me. But unfortunately, that's not the case, as much as I would like to continue to.
So you can tell right here she's getting emotional, and I feel so bad for her.
Talk about this. Unfortunately, I can't. So, to recap, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which
It's funny too, because you know she's a good person, and the way you know is she's like, yeah, I'm owed a significant amount of funds, but that's not what chokes me up. What chokes me up, what gets me really emotional, is knowing the fact that the foundation that I did a fundraiser for did not get their money. She is more upset about that, and that's how you know she's such a genuinely nice person. She's definitely a nicer person than me. Definitely. Probably a nicer person than most of us, let's be real.
I have not been paid. And most importantly, the Immune Deficiency Foundation is owed over $500,000 from VShojo. I really wish that I could tell you more, but right now, I have been advised to wait for legal proceedings. As of right now,
Sue them!
I am an
Sue them all!
VTuber. I am at a loss of what to do right now. I'm kind of processing everything. I'm very sad and very confused. Once again, I want to apologize to the Immune Deficiency Foundation and to my community who has shown so much support to me. I also wanted to say that all the ad money made from this video will go towards the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, I really haven't had much time to process this. But below the video in the description box is a link to a donation fund for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Thankfully, any donations made through Tiltify go directly to the charity. That link is also there if you've heard about this and would like to support the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Sometime this month, I plan on doing a special live stream in order to raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I hope to have a ton of friends joining me, and hopefully there'll be a lot of singing and a lot of fun and just a day full of happiness.
So, fun fact, on Twitter, people are saying that July 25th, I believe it is that Friday? July 25th? Yeah, July 25th is gonna be a day that a lot of VTubers are gonna do a subathon, so to speak, and give that money to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. So July 25th, a lot of VTubers are gonna be doing that.
I just honestly really want to show that after all of this, that VTubing is a force for good. So thank you guys so much for all the support, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And once again, I want to say that I am truly sorry. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Alright, so here's the video. In case you guys did not like it already, please give it a like, share with others. Oh, what's going on? No. We don't, no. That's not what we're here for. Give it a like. We can actually go to the comment section too. I already gave it a like. Comment section, Sea Dog VA, we got your back. So sorry about all of this. I know abroad in Japan, I'm so sorry that people you trusted let you down so badly, Iron Mouse. It's genuinely disgraceful, and VShojo really do have an awful lot to answer for. This isn't a situation you should have to go through. You've got our full support. Abroad in Japan is the other person who did the cycle-thon a lot of the times with Sea Dog VA. They do it for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. So yeah, Abroad in Japan, good show, or not show, but good YouTube streamer. Well, he doesn't really stream. YouTube channel? I guess YouTube channel? I'll get there eventually. I watched his videos quite a bit. He touches about living in Japan and stuff. Sea Dog VA, his relationship with Mouse is just adorable. They seem to be the best of friends, and it's just adorable, their friendship. Hello, seems like I'm late. Hello, Kaze-C. No, you're just in time. Just in time. Would VShojo put up an apology message or no? I think VShojo's gonna probably try to go the route of bankruptcy. And I think they're gonna try to use the bankruptcy as a way to not pay. That is my guess. I don't know if that's gonna be what happens, but I could kind of foresee that being the route they're gonna try to take. Which is scummy. Very scummy. We'll see. We'll see, though. It's too late for an apology video. I don't think they're gonna remain silent and then probably try to do the whole bankruptcy route is my guess. Okay, so we finished the first video after an hour and 13 minutes. We did it, you guys. Now we can go on to the next one, which is a full hour video versus an 11-minute video. Oh my fox. I don't know if I'll watch this full thing. It's, a lot. It's a lot. I don't know if I really care for everybody's takes. Like, I don't care too much for Fillion. She's a little too much for me. I'm guessing this one is Nanners? Is that Nanners? Maybe we should just go to Nanners and see what Nanners has to say. I think they're gonna skip town and let this whole thing blow over. Everyone's already leaving anyway, so they probably dip ASAP. How does bankruptcy thing work again? Explain it in Fox terms. Yeah, they're trying to do that. I think bankruptcy, you don't have to pay anything you owe. With the exception of, I think is it medical bills and student loan debt? How does bankruptcy... There's only a few things that, like, you actually have to still pay. How does bankruptcy work for companies? Bankruptcy for companies is a legal process that allows businesses unable to repay their debts to either restructure their obligations or liquidate their assets to pay off creditors. This process is designed to provide a pathway for businesses to either eliminate or reorganize their debts, depending on their financial situation and goals. When a company files for bankruptcy, it can choose between different types of bankruptcy. Chapter 7 bankruptcy. This type of bankruptcy involves the liquidation of a company's assets to pay off its debts. The business is typically closed, and the proceeds from the sale of assets are distributed to creditors. This option is usually chosen by businesses that have little chance of recovery. So it might be a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, because I don't see them recovering from this. They might just sell, and whatever they get, that's what they can pay off. Chapter 11 is... This allows a business to reorganize its debts and continue operate. I don't see that happening. I don't see VShojo operating after this. Chapter 13... it's a way that involves repayment plan to pay off debts over a period of 3 to 5 years. I have a feeling they're going to do Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and they're going to close the business, and the proceeds from the sale of assets are going to be distributed to, I'm guessing, the talents. I don't think the talents are going to get everything they are owed, though. That is what I'm assuming will happen. I don't know for sure. I needed to write fan fiction, so I might come back later, but I'm going to leave and do that now because I promised daily chapters and failed to get one out yesterday. All right, sounds good, KZ. Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated. There's different bankruptcies. That's why I gave you a compilation so you could choose who you do or don't want to react to. Makes sense. Thank you, Snow. All right, so we're going to skip Philian because Philian's is super long. We're going to skip, what's her name? Is it Camilla? Or I don't remember her name. Let's go over to Nanners. I think it's Nanners. I'm not sure. It looks like it's but I don't know.
That's so disgusting.
Twitter is fucking exploding with everything, and I was like, fuck, what do I do?
That's
I don't want to read it, but I end up reading it, and I was like, fuck,
hold on, let me close captions.
And I kind of want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it, but and then, yeah, I have no words, but also a lot of words. It's crazy. I'm not gonna talk about drama all the time. What's happening? I don't have Twitter. Basically, a huge corpa stole money from Iron Mouse, and nobody expected that. Because how the fuck do you do that? What the fuck? How do you?
Wasn't Nanners a shareholder in the company when it started? She was one of the very first talents, and then she left.
How you even dare to do that? Like, they, like, nobody, no other person, no other people.
Thank you, Fearless, for the drink.
Her situation, and that she's sick, and they took her subathon money that she earned herself streaming non-stop with her condition, and they just took it away from her and never paid.
Okay, I just noticed something that I didn't notice before. Nanners has a pink eye and a purple eye. Iron Mouse has a pink eye and a purple eye. They got the same eyes. VShojo isn't just cooked, they just got burned into a crisp, just like baking a bad cake. Yeah, no, they're not recovering from this. Like I said, I see them doing Chapter 7 bankruptcy and just dissolving.
The half that was...
I think this is Annie. I don't think it's Nanners, hearing her voice. Okay, I thought it was Nanners, but I could be wrong. I never heard of Annie. You're right, it is Annie. I don't know who Annie is. I just assumed Nanners. Yeah, it's Annie. I'm sorry. My mistake. Okay, Nanners kind of looks similar, kind of. Annie hangs out with Vidal a lot. Ah, gotcha.
Supposed to go for charity. I don't know why I sound so British today. What the hell happened? I just... Everyone's talking about it on Twitter, like every single person. I remember when I said some things about VShojo, people hated on me because of that. Now look where we are. Aren't you glad now? I literally do not care. I haven't been...
That's the thing. You can hate on these corporate VTube agencies, but they're gonna have fans who will, like, not listen to it at all. I thought the VShojo backlash with people leaving, I personally thought, oh, it's not a big deal until Iron Mouse leaves, and then Iron Mouse left, and I'm like, oh, shoot, they're done, it's gone.
Like, I do not care. Like, at the time when I applied for auditions, how many years was that ago? That was like 3 years ago. I literally do not care anymore.
Oh, she kind of sounds like she's mad she didn't get selected, honestly. I'll be honest, this kind of seems like she's just like jealous she didn't get selected.
But
That's
at
not
that
a good
time,
look.
they tried to like give me the hush money, which I didn't take, and I spoke about the like what happened as carefully as I could, because I was like still scared to like, you know, have bad blood or anything, and then people still like hated on me. Like nobody believed me. Okay, I feel really hurt.
Okay, I'm skipping hers. Hers just kind of seems like she's upset because she didn't get chosen, which it kind of gives off like Nux vibes, which Nux is like, I told you guys VShojo was a bad company, I told you. Yeah, I don't care for that. Let's see. I know I already watched Giga's response. Giga didn't really give any extra information. I already saw her response. And then what I do want to see is Connor. Connor is one I do want to see. I want to see how he reacts. Let's go back just a little bit. Make sure we get all of Connor.
But, you know, okay, so let's talk about a bit about the video and about Mouse and, you know, so Mouse, you know, released a statement and I'm glad that she did, because I think that it was important for Mouse to be able to tell this from her own words, from her own side. And again, reminder, this is, you know, what Mouse's attorneys have approved Mouse to say. And this is what they're allowed to say. So, you know,
Sounds
if
good,
you could,
sounds
if you
good,
could say
Ronnie.
this and you can't say the other stuff, I mean, anyway. The one good thing that's come from this so far, and then I guess we can get into that in a little bit, but like, goddamn, oh man, I'm sorry. My thoughts are hard to formulate in this moment, and perhaps I should have had a script.
So you also have to think about it too. He put a lot of effort into the cyclothons and stuff for Mouse. He put a lot of effort into doing his the Immune Deficiency Foundation stuff as well. And for it to come out that the money Mouse made did not go to it, he's feeling pretty affected as well. Not only are they best of friends, but he's also donated a ton of money to this foundation. Was Connor's VTube character ever part of VShojo? No. No. The thing is, Mouse kept making, or made his, character, but he was not part of VShojo. No. If you look at the VShojo website, it shows the people who are a part of VShojo. He's not.
But, you know, like, I feel like I didn't really want to come in here and be like, this is what my lawyer has approved. I feel like, because there's so much support from you guys and from the viewers for Mouse and for especially our charitable endeavors, that I felt like it would be doing a bit of a disservice to kind of just lawyer talk out of this. But yeah, it's just so depressing. And like, so, you know, obviously found out about this quite a while ago. And I you know, I'd been concerned for quite some time.
So they found out quite a while ago. I wonder how long they've known about this and how long they waited until they're like, okay, now's the time that we got to speak up. Maybe Iron Mouse waited until her contract was done. And then the moment it was done, she's like, okay, I'm going public with this. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure, but I wonder how long they knew about it.
About certain things. And so, you know, it was pushing quite heavily. And so I'm glad that, you know, Mouse was able to get answers. Obviously, it was like not great answers. And I mean, dude, can you imagine that, like, you've put so much of like your life and so much of like your effort and everything that you hold dear and everything that you care about into something, and someone else is like, whoops, forgot about that, you know? Oh, I was supposed to do that. I'm okay. I don't think I'll do it. And then you can't even get like a good answer as to what the fuck is going on. Yeah, it's just I'm like dumbfounded. So, you know, and I'm glad that.
The thing about this too is if you look at VShojo's statistics or whatever, their corporate statistics, they have, I believe when I looked it up, 32 employees. 32. So it's not a big company. It is not a big company by any means. They only have 32 people. So it's not like this got lost in the hands of this person and this person and this person and this. That is not the issue here. It is actually a pretty small corporo, employee-wise, with just 32 people. And half of those people are going to be the talents and their managers. So the fact that, like, you cannot blame, like, oh, this got lost in the process somewhere, because it's like, what process? You guys don't have that many employees to begin with. Legal Mindset did point out in Mouse's statement about how she said she was waiting for legal proceedings and not NDA. Yeah, there might be an NDA, but honestly, screw the NDA when you're doing stuff that is illegal, especially pretty much stealing money in a way. NDA does not account for actual illegal stuff.
That now it's out, and that we can hopefully start figuring out what the next steps are. And obviously it's just so shit, man. It's so shit. So one thing that I was like, you know, we should do this is that we should talk to the Immune Deficiency Foundation and kind of explain what's a bit about what's going on. And man, that is like, if you think you've ever had to fucking break bad news to people in your life, dude. I mean, I normally don't like get upset or cry about things, but like, man, like having to, you know, deal with that was just like so ridiculous. Because, you know, me and Mouse have both spent so much of our online time and the work that I do here and the work that Mouse does, like advocacy for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. And, you know, I genuinely see all the immune deficiency people like family. Like we have calls with them every month. We walk through what they're doing. We walk through all the fundraisers that we're doing and where the money's going. Like, we talk to patients. I've interviewed people who have benefited from the charity, and I've gotten to speak with them. And like this, it's so hard when you donate money. Like, there are so many people who are being so generous in donating money. It's so hard to see that money and to imagine that you like helped someone. And to see the direct benefits of that. But, you know, I've been really fortunate where I've been able to like actually talk to so many of these patients who have benefited from this money and who have been able to increase their quality of life because of this money. And so to like kind of hear that like people won't get it really fucking hurts. Because again, I've spent.
Yeah, they might feel guilty too because they expected the money to go to the foundation, and it's other people's money. So Mouse and Connor, they probably both feel really bad that money did not make it to the foundation like people thought it was going to. Ozzy just passed away. This is officially a worse day. This is more important.
So much fucking energy, and Mouse spent so much energy on raising money for this charity that, you know, like without them we wouldn't have iMouse streams. You know, like they are such an important aspect of Mouse's life. And
he's a rock legend.
Get a little sad. Get a little sad, man, when I think about it. Because and then I started thinking about like, man, like. We hear about Iron Mouse, and we're so lucky that we hear about Mouse's story and Mouse's journey. And then I get so fucking sad that I think like, damn, it could have ended so much more differently if there wasn't people who were trying to do the right thing. And that makes me really fucking angry. So yeah, that's really tough to deal with. But I think it's been great to see the support.
His eyes are red. I wonder if he's been crying or if he's trying to hold it back because he's so pissed. I know when I get angry, I start like crying. I know when I get pissed, my emotions run high.
The mouse has gotten so far, and when I was talking to Mouse, and Mouse obviously extremely nervous about doing this, releasing this, obviously, as this is like such a difficult thing to do. And Mouse is not a drama person. Mouse is not a confrontational person. Mouse is not the type of person who...
Yeah, no, I don't think Mouse is usually the type of person who gets in drama. I don't think there's any drama I know of that Mouse has been in, other than the whole Nux drama. I think she made some sort of statement, which Nux had to bring up in his video about the situation because he made it about himself. We're not going to get into Nux's video because I don't care about that. Like, he made the video about himself and his vendetta against VShojo. It was not a good take.
This Mouse would do everything in her power to not let it get to this point. And so to see it kind of like get there and just watching Mouse being like torn apart by this was yeah, made me really, really fucking angry. And I really, really hope that the people who are responsible for this, I hope that they're held accountable and that there is some form of justice. But other than that, it has been amazing to see like just how much support there's been for the charity and for Mouse. Because and I think that I'm really happy that everyone has kind of taken to Mouse and the charity here. And like already like so far, like as I'm like talking.
You didn't hear, Sir Julius? I'm joining VShojo. I'm joining VShojo. That's why I'm talking about VShojo.
It's going up, it's kind of crazy. But like $223,000 raised already. And Mouse hasn't even streamed,
Yeah! True story, Sir Julius.
Like, that's crazy. Like that's so cool. And I'm just like, kind of like overwhelmed for Mouse as well, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, the level of generosity has been really cool to see.
What? I would never. Ooh,
so that's been awesome.
Ada.
Even with the Immune Deficiency Foundation, like we've worked with them so much that like we work with them so much that you can literally go on their website to read about a page with us and how we fundraise.
No, they kicked Iron Mouse out to make room for me. Oh my god. Oh my god, no.
And how you can get in and get involved. Like there is a page on their website.
Technically, they did kick Iron Mouse out by not giving the money that they owe to her, as well as the foundation that they did the stuff for. These videos are V flexing her story. Oh my god. Oh my god. Basically, Iron Mouse just left VShojo and it's most likely suing them for money. There are 3 typhoons hitting the Philippines right now. That's a lot of typhoons. Damn, man, this day keeps getting worse. First, Iron Mouse leaves VShojo like 24 hours ago. Now there's 3 typhoons hitting Philippines. Also, Ozzy Osbourne died. That's something else. What's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next?
Dedicated entirely to the fundraisers that we do. Like and like the impact that all of you guys have had on people's lives. And like, look, being in like a content creator space and having to raise money for charity, it's a weird situation because people want to know what they're donating to. And the sad reality of like immunocompromised stuff is that it is super not easy to explain. Like it is, for lack of better words, it's not a sexy disease. Like because like it is so hard to fully get across what it is that common variable immunodeficiency is, right? Like even saying it sounds like.
But yeah, Sir Julius, Iron Mouse has left VShojo. That's what we're talking about, because VShojo did not pay over $500,000 to the Immune Deficiency Foundation after the fundraiser Iron Mouse did last year. It's been a year. They have not given the money to the foundation, and they are supposed to legally, by California law, because they're in California, they're situated in California, give the money within 5 days. 5 business days.
Like I get like explaining to someone like, hi, primary immune deficiency is a situation.
And they apparently they owe a lot of their talents, including Kason and Iron Mouse, an undisclosed amount of money. Kason, I guess, has not been paid since September, which that blows my mind. How does that happen? I don't understand.
Where sometimes your immune system just doesn't work. But wait, there's 450 different versions of it, and there's some people are only affected with like super individual cases. Like it's such a complex disease to talk about and to fundraise for. And I'm so glad that like people are willing to listen and to hear out when me and Mouse are always talking about it. And so that makes me really happy. Yeah, 450 that we know of. Sorry. It's terrifying. Like it's a really like fucking horrible disease, because basically you just, you know, you could live your whole life thinking, damn, I'm healthy, and then suddenly when you start to get like, you know, older, maybe 25 unk status, you know, maybe you just start getting sick, and maybe you're getting pneumonia, which you've never gotten before, and maybe you're getting that sinus infection that's lasting a lot longer and happening a bit more often than it was before. And the doctor's always like, well, you should try this, you should try this, you should try this. Because the doctors themselves don't even know about it. A lot of doctors are not educated in primary immune deficiency, which is why a lot of the money also goes towards helping further train doctors, helping give them more information. Because they're like, it's scary to think as somebody who might be sick that my doctor might just have no idea what the fuck is wrong with me. And the fact that you'd have to live with that and your quality of life will just keep getting worse and worse while you're being given medication and treatment for stuff that is not the problem. It's like super demoralizing, super draining, and like a horrible quality of life. And it only gets worse the older you get. So it's why that there is such a massive need for just educating people and talking about it, which is why with all this stuff, I want to make sure that we all learn a bit more about the charity and the disease, because it's such an important part.
That's crazy to think about, that like a lot of doctors don't even know that this kind of stuff exists.
That is like half the battle with raising money and raising awareness to get research. You can't raise more money without people knowing about it. And you can't fix the disease until there's a lot of money and help people have better quality of lives. But like, imagine it. Like, you suddenly start getting sick. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Suddenly you can't be around your friends, your family. And if you do want to be around your friends and family, they have to quarantine for days at a time. It's like terrifying. Like it's genuinely such a horrific and lonely experience to have to go through that. Like you like mentally are like completely fine, but suddenly now you're isolated. You can't talk to anyone. You suddenly keep getting sicker and sicker. It's awful. It's a really horrible disease. And you know, the fact that like Mouse is able to stream and do what Mouse does with all of that is insane. Like Mouse is like a superhero, man. Like I when I get mildly sick, I'm like, better take 3 days off.
Better take 3 days off. I got like the sniffles.
In her sumathon, puking all the time, and then coming back to
Pukathon in her
stream like nothing
sumathon.
happened.
Oh my
It's
god.
crazy. Like I can't do that shit. Pukathon next.
Oh my god.
Oh god. So it's like crazy, you know. It's
Yeah, no, Iron Mouse
it's,
definitely
there's a lot
like
to
she
admire, I think,
pushes
about
through
this,
her
and
condition.
to be proud of, I think. I'm always so impressed with Mouse and her ability to, no matter what, just kind of power through it all.
Yep.
Get through it. So yeah, I'm just mad. I'm just so mad.
Understandably. Very understandably. Alright. We did that one. Next it looks like Kason addresses her current situation in VShojo will be the next one. That was the same with my condition when I was diagnosed. It was not well known and most doctors weren't even aware of it. Yeah, that's the scary part, is like there's a lot of stuff that doctors don't think about when you get certain symptoms, because it's like so rare that they're like, oh, yeah, it can't be that, or they don't even know about it, which is even more scary. But yeah. Does this count as React content? Yes. Yes, it does. I'm doing reacting. I'm being a reacting Anby right now. All right, let's see what Kason had to say.
Yes, I have set it to subscribers only who has subscribed for my channel for over 24 years. No, 24 hours, I'm sorry.
24
hours.
years.
Sorry, because
those who have subscribed for 24 years are only seeing this.
there was a lot of people who are talking about something that are super unrelated. Hope you guys could understand that. So, first of all, I would like to tell you guys that this stream is going to be about my story. I am not going to say anything about the other talents because, of course, they could they have their own channels, they have their own voices, and they can explain everything directly. Like, I think it has to be directly from them in this kind of situation. Yes. So this stream is gonna be all about my situation, about me only. Yes. And what I wanted to tell you guys is that first of all, I was already planning to leave VShojo this month. Specifically,
okay, so something to think about too is a lot of the contracts for VShojo are ending around this time. That's why a lot of talents have been leaving, is because the contracts that they are in has them in for a certain set of time. So a lot of those contracts are ending, so that's why they have started leaving, and I feel like that's also why Iron Mouse has decided to put this out here now. Because maybe, I'm assuming her contract is coming to an end or has ended. I remember when I got diagnosed with my handwriting disability in the 6th grade, nobody knew it could be a thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are very, very rare. And if you think about it, there's so many conditions. So many. It's hard to, like, actually know all the conditions right out from the gate, even if you're a doctor. There's just way too much.
on the 31st. Yes. And the reason why? Because VShojo hasn't paid a significant amount of money to me too. Yes. This is the truth. Yes. And for that, what should I say? They haven't paid me since last year. I guess it was September. Till then.
So last year, since September, they have not paid her, which is crazy. Imagine being locked in a contract. So that was shortly after, around the time she renewed her contract. I'm guessing she renewed it probably August. I'm guessing, and they're like, she's locked into a contract. Guess what? We don't need to pay her. We don't need to pay her because she's locked in the contract. She can't go anywhere. That is freaking wild.
That time it was good. Everything was good. I did not have any complaints. Well, sometimes the payment was kind of slow. It was really not on time, but they paid. So I was like, okay, they're getting slow again. And then recently, well, it was becoming like, oh my god, this is not good. This is
like, this is too late. Yeah, like, this is like, I have bills to pay. This has been almost a year. I have bills to pay. What the fox is going on?
Too late, and everything is, I think something is going wrong. That's I was like, there's so many limited things. I could say, I'm trying to say it very correctly and very politely here. Yes. there's legal situations going on, so I can't say anything about the other talents, but if they owe me, I guess. So I have been lied to from the company a lot about the situation. So my payment stopped last September. I was asking what's going on for a long time, multiple times. All they said was it's gonna be paid, it's gonna be paid, it's gonna be paid. And it was never paid. And I think it will never be. Yes. The reason why...
Yeah, she doesn't think she's gonna get that money, and honestly, I don't think a lot of the talents are gonna get their money, and it's sad. It's real sad, especially since they have not been paid for about a year.
I waited so long was that if I like say, okay, I'm gonna reveal this information and I'm gonna quit. If I say that, I thought they were not going to pay me the amount they owe.
But at the same time, they were not paying you at all. And oh my god. That's just way too long. She probably after 4 months should have gotten a lawyer, honestly. After 4 months gotten a lawyer and got her money. Cause that's almost a year.
And that was scary for me. But so recently I've decided, fuck it, I'm leaving. And I was about to tell you guys that I will be leaving this month. And I was getting ready for that. I wasn't ready for today's whatever came out today.
It's harder for her because she's in Japan, so she would need to get someone who could sue in America. I mean, I don't think it's that much harder because of technology. I don't think it would be that much harder, honestly.
I was not.
And I'm sure a lot of the talents too, like she could have, well, I guess she wouldn't want to go out about what's going on. She probably kept it to herself, so she didn't speak with the other talents about the situation. But I feel like finding a lawyer wouldn't be that hard because of technology nowadays.
Already. There were so many things that I didn't know, but this is what I know, and this is my story. Yes. And I will have the VShojo CEO, VShojo JP CEO, explain this to you guys, because I have done so many, well, it's not so many, it's only about 2. I've done 2 streams with him. I was saying all the good things about VShojo. Fucking embarrassed about this. Now that I know that I fucking lied to. I'm so ashamed of myself for believing in someone who only had interest in our money.
Oh, that's sad. Like, these are really hurting the talents, which I understand, especially after a whole year's work and not getting paid for that.
And I feel very sorry for the fans because it all came from you guys. It all came from you guys' support. Right now, it's not about the money. It's all about the trust, betrayal. In the past, I've said so many positive things about VShojo, as you guys know. Like when I joined, I had a stream about like pros and cons about joining VShojo. Well, I don't believe in anyone right now. Yes, VShojo doesn't have the talent's IP. They do not own our models. They do not own our channels. They cannot touch our channels. So all we lost is a significant amount of money. Yes, I am not planning to join any other companies. Right now, I have no connection to nothing. I'm in a protection mode. I'm going to protect all my money. I hate everyone. Fuck!
That's sad. That's sad. I would link you guys these videos, but they're just clip channels, so it's not like the actual channel from the VTubers. So. But yeah, that's sad. What else do we have here? Also, I didn't post this, but if you guys do want to donate, if you guys do, that's the Tiltify for Iron Mouse. Right now, Gamer Subs with 15,000 donated. They've donated. Oh, they're getting close to that 500K. They're definitely gonna reach the 500K mark. Like, that's awesome. Gamer Subs in the lead. VTube Studio second with 12,000. Doki Bird with 10. Bijan with 10. Kenji with 10. Saranth Atal with 10. Anonymous with 10. Wow, somebody went anonymous with 10k. That's cool. Nanners with 9,000. Nanners is up there. Okay. Jaden Animations 10,000. Zentreya 5,500. I think also Sea Dog is 5,000. Sea Dog VA is 5,000. Ludwig is 5,000. Yeah, so a lot of big VTubers helping out. Sayu 5,000. Yeah, Pete 1,800. I think I'm not sure if that's the Pete that does the cyclothon and stuff with Abroad in Japan. He's usually the one who records, if I'm not mistaken. With Sea Dog VA and Abroad in Japan. I'm not sure if that's the same Pete, but it could be. Buff Pup with 1,420. Yeah, so a lot of big VTubers donating. It's nice to see people coming together for this cause once they learn how much VShojo screwed them over. Now waiting for V to donate 10k. I am currently unemployed with not much money, so I cannot right now. I am one of the unemployed right now. Gamer Subs donating again because VShojo stole the first one. So they probably donated 15,000 last time, and then VShojo stole it, so they're like, Fox. Now we gotta do it again. Supporting Mousy. Excuses V refusing to give money. I'm broke, okay? I'm broke. I'm a broke fox. I'm an unemployed broke fox. Sea Dog we already watched. This one is Ludwig. Ludwin? I thought it was Ludwig. I'm confused. Was it Ludwig or Ludwin? Why don't you donate, Snow? Exactly. Because I'm selfish. I mean, that's a fair reason. At least you're honest about it. This one's only 3 minutes. I guess we can take a look at this.
Static Tokyo-san, bye! I am leaving VShojo.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, this is crazy. Not gonna lie, I just woke up from a nap, but people thought it was random when Zentreya left. But everyone was like, oh well, which Zentreya the best? With Iron Mouse leaving?
That's some bullshit.
What the fuck is going on? I'm gonna tell you straight out the gate, and to go
let's put on the closed captions.
more in depth, please go watch Iron Mouse's video about the matter, because VShojo did something that I personally, and anybody with like common sense will also find disgusting. VShojo has withheld funds from Iron Mouse and the IDF. No, not that IDF, this one. Now, for someone that don't know this somehow and watch Iron Mouse, Mouse has CVID. Now, reminder, probably better to go have Mouse explain this to you since Shadi is the one that has this, but basically her immune system, like, doesn't work like it should, or close to not functional at all, which means she gets sick a lot. Now, due to this, she was isolated for a large portion of her life, and streaming was the way for her to make friends and connect with others. So that's why this situation is even more of a gut punch, not only for us, but also for Mouse. Mouse and Sea Dog VA, or Connor, however you want to address him, has raised funds for the Immune Deficiency Foundation many times, and raised a fuck ton amount of money. I think they said like 4 million, or like close to that, or over that, or whatever, around that number.
Connor and I have raised around $4 million for the Immune Deficiency Foundation.
Mouse also did a subathon, and due to it being a huge success, like it literally broke records, she was like, fuck it, let's give half of it to the IDF. the total being $515,000.
Like,
Now
what
she
did
asks
they do
VShojo
with the
to make the
money?
payment on her behalf, like VShojo has done previously, but they just did it.
Type shit.
And it's been over a year now.
But unfortunately, still a year later, VShojo has not paid the charity.
Which is gross. Now I'm making this video to hopefully help spread the word about Iron Mouse's Tiltify page to donate to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. That's why this video has 0 ads, because that's not what the shit's about. They already smashed the goal, but you know, the more the merrier. Support the IDF, support Mouse during this time. Don't be a dickhead and hate on the talents that are still under VShojo though. This isn't a talent issue, this is a VShojo management
And also those
issue.
talents,
So come
some
on,
of them
use
might
that
be
noggin, don't
locked
be an
in.
asshole. And
and
yeah,
cannot
that's pretty much
leave.
it. Peace.
So, like, hating on the talents that are in VShojo is such a dumb take, because some of those talents might be locked in and cannot leave at the moment because of contracts. Unless if VShojo hasn't paid them for months, like Kason, they can't do anything at the moment. Here's this video if you guys want
I
to
just looked
give it
on
a
Twitter.
like.
I looked on Twitter. I saw Iron Mouse left VShojo. She dropped like a 9-minute video. We might react.
Kenji reacting to the video. This is Kenji reacting, so since it's just him reacting, we're gonna skip that. I honestly don't trust anything Ludwig says. Man is an opportunist and flips his opinion whenever it suits his need. I never really watch any of Ludwig's videos, so I don't have an opinion on him. Yeah. I don't really know who he is, really, so I don't really have an opinion. I just saw on Facebook a lot of people are leaving. Yeah, no, VShojo's done. Most of the talents are leaving if they are able to.
Iron Mouse released a video a few hours ago that's been going a bit viral. You know, the usuals, the Twitters, the Reddits, the YouTubes. I know a little bit about this beforehand, but I don't exactly know what she talked about in the video. But the skinny of it is hundreds of thousands of dollars were stolen from charity.
Oh, it looks like he's gonna just be reacting to it.
And the result is Iron Mouse is leaving VShojo. So we're gonna watch the video. And
it's just him reacting. We know the video. We don't need to see how he reacts to it. Let's see. We can probably skip all that.
Yeah, the comment is interesting. The first comment's interesting. VShojo, it was supposed to be known as the better VTuber agency. Like, that was their whole branding, is because a lot of the traditional VTuber agencies like HoloLive have very...
Well, seeing as Ludwig is friends with Sea-Dog, and I think he participated in Cyclothon, so he may be legit. Did he? I don't think he did. Did he participate in Cyclothon? I know usually Chris does. I know Chris usually does. Yeah, but Ludwig is someone who tries to keep people happy by telling them what they want to hear, and even then, he messes it up.
You know, predatory contracts similar to like idle contracts, where they take 70% of like any revenue you make ever, you know, and they also own your model. And VShojo's was supposed to be like better contracts, better splits, you own your model, you know, say what you will about HoloLive, but like, I mean, this is straight up an evil act. This is straight up an evil act. Like, I don't think HoloLive's business practices are good, but they are offering them quite openly, right? They're not hiding what they are doing. They're not lying about it. They're saying, hey, you can join HoloLive. You will have a floor of success with a ceiling of opportunity. In exchange, we are taking a fuck ton of money off of your back. But, you know, maybe in the long run, it could work out for you.
But at least they are agreeing to how much they are taking the money, how much money is being taken from them, versus VShojo, who just takes it all, steals it all.
VShojo is saying, hey, we're like HoloLive, but we're way more fair. And also, we might just fucking scam you out of $500,000. That is crazy.
About this and would like to support the Immune Deficiency Foundation, sometime this month, I plan on doing a special live stream
Oh my gosh.
in order to raise money.
Look how many people donated. Wow, they had a $10,000 goal. They smashed it. They smashed it. Dude, humanity is cool sometimes, huh? Oh my gosh, Doki Bird went crazy. Kenji went crazy. I don't know who VGen is, but they also went crazy. Is it true that a lot of people are leaving VShojo now because of this? This is all broken while I was live. Kaho tweeted out. This person moved from a novel VTuber company to another as a staff last year, bragging about his new income. He thrusted me a few of his new business cards to give me my good contacts. I found the action obnoxiously rude, but maybe he was too young and friendly to know better. Then the motherfucker wanted to meet up for tax advice because I am native in Japan and I hire an accountant. I was asked to have dinner in his area, which was quite far from me, splitting the bill. The day I got convinced I didn't like the guy. Yet, because I love the talents he worked with, I was only secretly hoping he would one day lose his job. Recently, I heard from another creator that he was showing photos of VTubers' real selves while revealing their personal info like marital status. I now wanted to find a way to warn other employees. Today, I've learned the most despicable shit the company has done to their talent. Don't know if he's involved with it yet. All my personal grudge is nothing compared to such betrayal. Sometimes, unfortunately, manager agencies can be the talent's worst enemy. Okay, it sounds like what happened here is very similar to what happened to me, which is a simple case of obscene mismanagement. Basically, like what happened to me is there was a business that was operating that was unsustainable. It was drawing more money than it was making. And so to make up for that, it was gaining runway by taking money I was owed without telling me so that it would be able to last as a business.
Welcome back.
While the people, you know, in my case, the person could figure out how to make the business work. But the issue is if the business wasn't working and you have the pressure of a short, you know, runway, because I'm going to find out eventually, then the business will just continue to not work. And you actually just dig a bigger hole than what you should do, which is admit it's not working, like declare bankruptcy. You can do Chapter 11, you can do a refile bankruptcy, and then move on from there. So it sounds like VShojo.
Oh, it looks like we are on ad break, you guys, so we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and see how this ends.
Had this huge influx of money from the subathon because they got all the money from the subathon, right? $500,000 is supposed to go to charity, but they got all the money. And I'm betting right now, I don't know. I'm betting that they saw all this income. They didn't give Mouse any of the income. They didn't give the charity any of the income. And they used it to pay, their business, operate, have run.
Who did they pay, though, is my question. Who did they pay? Because they didn't pay Kason. They didn't pay Iron Mouse. Who did they use that money for, then?
One way, trying to dig their way out of this hole while actually just putting Mouse and the IDF into a massive hole. So every single person who is on VShojo's team who knew about this is culpable. Guaranteed the people at the top knew, okay? Which is Gun Run. He wasn't mentioned once in that video. I'm assuming that's for legal reasons. I'm not fucking suing him. I'm not in
They laundered it in gacha games. Oh, shoot. They're into Hoyo-verse games.
a lawsuit with him. I don't give a fuck. That's Gun Run. Who I've met, who I thought was a good guy, but if he
Don't judge a book by its cover, you guys.
he's operating a company that allows $500,000 to be stolen from charity and another who knows how many, hundreds of thousands to be stolen from Iron Mouse. He's not a good guy. but plain and simple, he is not a good guy. He fucking sucks. You don't get to make a $1 million mistake. And everyone else who knew, because this was a year going on, like they knew money was being used to pay for their own salary, right? Think about that. Their money was being used to pay their own salaries, slowly bleeding out the money that Iron Mouse solely worked for and raised for herself and charity. And they took it without saying a fucking thing. I mean, all of them are fucking scums. They all should be switching industries ASAP. And they should all see some litigation here. Because that's crazy. At least 3 staff members have left.
I don't see them getting any jail time or prison time, which is so sad because they screwed over so many of these people's livelihoods by not paying them. And they don't take like corporate like stuff like this serious enough. And it's annoying because I feel like they should. They really should start getting the hammer and just punishing people. That's a good way to stop people from doing it. Like, make an example. I would say something like cut off their hand. They won't do that again, but that's a little too barbaric. But you know what I mean. Like, make it a serious enough crime so people don't do this. Because if you just like kind of like slap them a little, like just give them a little slap on the hand, they're just gonna go and do it again, or someone else is gonna go and do it again. That's the issue. There's not enough punishment for these types of crimes. Well, I remember Mindset saying they can avoid punishments for overdue payment, but the charity thing is completely different. It's a crime they can't avoid. Charity fraud. Yeah, like I said, I looked it up and they have, I believe, 5 business days with some leeway with other stuff up to a few weeks to give that money to a charity. They did not do that, which the completionist did the same thing. Did anything happen to him? I don't think anything really happened to him other than he got quote unquote canceled.
Hopefully those people who left are people who found out and couldn't take it and then left, which, that's a fair thing to do. But yeah, damn, I can't believe it. Yeah, VShojo, for all intents and purposes, should shut down. I mean, this should be the death of VShojo. This 100% should be the death of VShojo. And chat, if you can, and you want to join, you can donate to Iron Mouse's charity, which I'm going to do right now. Actual PR nightmare. Dude, it's not a PR nightmare. It is, it's a crime.
A PR nightmare.
A PR
no,
nightmare
this is
like
criminal.
when I speak in a patois, accent. This is a genuine crime in the magnitude of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Shout out Mouse, because she just announced that, but imagine how long she's been dealing with that. Like, we just found out about this, but when did she find out about it? Because this clearly went through lawyers' eyes. How long has she been having that on like the back burner? That's got to be stressful. So, if you can, again, donate to Iron Mouse's immune deficiency campaign. I mean, clearly, like, people are on her side, and I really think she did like no wrong. Her biggest mistake was trusting people, which is sad. That is sad.
Well, I don't think anyone was suing completionists either, though. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Criminal versus civil, it does not matter. Civil's completely different. So if he wasn't being sued, that wouldn't negate the criminal aspect of it. It would still be considered a quote-unquote crime, but nothing happened to him, so I don't really see anything happening in VShojo.
Sad to hear.
Because criminal versus civil is two completely different things. Criminal takes precedence over civil, so if you have a civil case and you're trying to get records for a criminal case, or no, if you have a civil case and you're trying to get records, but there's a criminal case pending, you probably won't get all the records because the criminal case is pending, because criminal takes precedence over civil. So just because someone chooses not to sue doesn't mean that the criminal aspect is not going to be there. Is there any new stuff? Is there any new stuff with the Iron Mouse VShojo situation? Like, has any other VShojo members put out statements? Does anyone know? Oh, that was the one I meant to put. VShojo. Oh, hold on. Okay, here's one.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 hours ago. We got 2 hours ago. All right, I don't know if anyone's seen this one. This one seems new, and it's 12 minutes, so let's see what she has to say.
You really think I, out of anyone, would know how to do this, y'all? Alright, I will have to say TTS is off for the stream because we're...
Wait, was that lewd stuff on the suggested videos like a minute ago? Where? I don't watch lewd stuff, so I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. YouTube be wild these days, you know? YouTube be wild. Like 3 pages ago, I don't know. But I think it's different because completionist was being given money with the promise of getting someone else. In Mouse's case, it's a company taking the money and saying they would pay it out for her, then stealing it. It's actually the same kind of thing if you think about it, because completionists promised to give that money to charity. VShojo promised to give that money to charity. So it's, if you think about it, it is the same thing. The only difference is it's a single person versus a company. Single person is probably more likely to get criminal prosecution, I feel, versus a company, because a company, it's harder with a company. It's definitely harder to prosecute with a company because you have to prove who knows what and where it went wrong, versus an individual like the completionist. You're like, he was in charge. That's easy. He was the one who was promising this money would go somewhere, and it did not go somewhere. I think nearly everyone is leaving. Who's that? It's Michivi? Michi Mochivi. I squished it together. I was like, it's Michivi. Michi Mochivi. Here, I'll go ahead and post the video in case anybody wants to watch it. I will be watching it right now. I think nearly everyone's leaving. Michi, Amelie, Hinya. Oh, Amelie. So out of everybody that I looked at their Twitter, Amelie remained silent about it. She hasn't said a word. She's also the newest person to join VShojo, so it's understandable if she's not saying anything because her contract is probably further out. But I'm curious if she said anything. She left? Oh, okay. But yeah, I've noticed that, yeah. For a while, she wasn't saying anything, and I was just curious what route she was going to go with. She left. Check her Twitter. Okay, hold on. Because I know I looked at it this morning, and she still didn't say anything. Oh yeah, 3 hours ago. As of today, I will be terminating my contract with VShojo effective immediately. and I will be returning to being an independent VTuber and content creator. Nothing about my content will change, as I was an indie for 18 years before signing up with VShojo, and I retain my IP. My love goes out to the talents. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your continued support as we look toward the future. Aww. I wonder how she got out. Because I feel like it's hard to get out because those are signed contracts. Unless if they have not paid her as well, then that is a way out because they are breaking contract that way. But I wonder how she was able to get out. That's the only thing I can think of because contract-wise. Like, individually, I think they have to break the contract for that specific person. They can't just leave because contract was broken for another talent, if that makes sense. But it sounds like she was able to get out, which is good. Yeah, she has been independent for 18 years. So before she was a VTuber, she was a real-life streamer, and she's also a voice actor, a very well-known voice actor, Amelie. Here, I'll post her Twitter in case anybody's curious and wants to see what I'm talking about. There's the Twitter link. Don't know if you know him, but Ozzy Osbourne is dead. RIP. Yeah, Snow talked about that. Yeah, we know about that. But yeah, she's a voice actor, and she does, I believe she did real life content before becoming a VTuber. She has a really nice model. I remember when looking at VTubers, my early days, her model coming across. She goes by so many names. She goes by Monarch. She goes by Amelie. I think she goes by another name too. I can't remember what the other name is, but she goes by a few different names. She done Merlin and My Dress Up Darling as a protagonist in Love is War. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do this.
Talking about something serious. I will start off light in a light note because obviously I don't want to spin crazy. I don't want to add to the crazy too much. Today I'm only gonna be talking about my own situation and no one else. I am in no way.
Let me guess. You have not been paid since September.
Talking about other people or representing anyone but myself, okay? So it's just me. So there's a lot that I will have to talk about. Let's just pull it off like whack, shall we? The situation. Yeah. Today, chat, I have officially left VShojo, which is insane to say. Yeah, I have officially left VShojo, so I'm not part of it anymore. On Twitter and stuff, there's like that handle thing. I don't think it's in my control. I'm not sure if VShojo will be announcing this publicly due to everything that's been going on. But yeah, officially now.
VShojo ain't gonna announce anything. They're just gonna file for bankruptcy and just disappear.
I will continue as just me. Yay. The reason behind this, as some of you may know, I can't get into too much specifics due to the legalities and all that big brain stuff. And I was told to be careful with what I say. I wanted to go live today because I want to give you guys clarity and updates and security on everything that's going on, because I think you guys, out of everyone, deserve to know. I know you guys probably must feel like confused or upset and stuff like that. I'm sorry that I can't tell you guys everything, but I hope I can tell you guys enough to the best of my abilities, and I'll do my best because I just don't want you guys to feel like confused. So I'm sure at this point a lot of you guys have watched or at least heard of Mousie's video by now. If you haven't, please go watch it and support her because she's very sweet and I care about her a lot and she deserves all the love. But for today, I'll just be talking about my own situation, and I might be bringing up similar points that Mouse have stated in her video. So I'm so sorry if this may sound a little bit repetitive. But basically, I recently found out that VShojo owes me a good amount of unpaid debt. I also have other reasons that I was advised.
Okay, so they owe her money as well. Did they pay anyone? Was anyone paid? Who is paid other than the CEO?
Guys, not to get into or say too much of as of now. So I'm sorry if I can't talk about that, but this is just one reason that has led me to my decision of terminating my contract with VShojo. And I want you guys to know it's not fully about like the money for me. I wanted to give you guys a quick backstory on everything just so then you can fully understand what has been kind of going on. So back then when I started streaming, way back then, I did it at first as a way to hang out with my friends. As you know, I really enjoyed anime and music, and I am a big fan of 3D concerts. Especially back then, I was quite a 3D concert nerd, and I have a hard time talking to people because I have really bad social anxiety. And VTubing has taught me...
Social anxiety. I mean, psh, who has that? Who has that? I do. I do. How would you go about this situation? Would you be like, I am leaving Fox VShojo? I think most people would. The thing is, most of these talents already had a following before VShojo, and they can keep their IP, so it doesn't make sense to stay in a company that is literally not paying you. Why would you stay if the company is not paying you at all, pretty much?
How to talk to people more and feel more comfortable in my own skin, which is ironic because we're VTubers. I could hang out with my friends who couldn't participate or be in call, and they can hang out with me too. And it's really nice. From there, we could also meet more people together. And I always saw this as just a fun hobby that connects like-minded, passionate people together. And I just saw it as that, right? And then I got picked up by another thing. And honestly, some of you may already know the story. So it went how it went. Safe to say,
I'm guessing
after
Niji
that, I had a
Sanji?
lot of doubt.
I'm
and
guessing
fear
usually
and
it's
anxiety
Niji Sanji.
coming out of that situation. I still enjoyed streaming. Though I still enjoyed streaming, I realized that once money is involved, maybe my type of approach to the streaming world is a bit different. Honestly,
Oh, sorry. Cat did that. That was the cat.
I know a lot of people have told me that, you know, maybe how I see things may be a bit naive or stupid. But I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid. However, after everything that has happened, VShojo picked me up and they reassured me that this would not happen again and that they treat me better than before. And I'm gonna be so honest, chat, they did. I've spoken about this in the past, and oh god, fuck, I'm so sorry if I cry today. I don't want to mute because that would be really awkward. But I know before in the past I've said a lot of really good things, and this is why I think the backstory is quite important. I kind of feel ashamed about it. Well, not ashamed, maybe embarrassed. I was super relieved because I thought I finally found a group of people that were in it for the passion and the fun. Because I don't, again, I might sound dumb, but it was just a big, like, nice little reminder for me, I guess. And I was just really happy to find like-minded people that were willing to talk to me and even support me and help me rebuild all over again. And in the start, VShojo did that for me. Because before I joined VShojo, I'm aware that I came with a lot of baggage. I wasn't like the easiest hire, I think. At that time, I've slipped into like past bad habits. At that time, you know, that's probably the most TOS friendly way I can describe that. But my brain wasn't the best, and VShojo gave me a second chance, and they said that they'd handle everything for me because they knew how, yeah, you know, they knew how I was.
Can you ask your cat to go leave, or it wants food? No, he just wants attention. He's a needy boy. He just wants all the attention. VShojo, more like V-show no. V no go. Nah, VShojo. V-show I go. What the fuck? Oh my god. Too many V-show no-goes.
Like that, and the things I could and wasn't capable of doing. They told me that they'd help me sort out everything, and past me really needed that because I was scared, and honestly I was doubtful, and I'll admit it, I was very inexperienced, and VShojo helped. Because of that, I met a lot of amazing people that I can now call my friends. I've also experienced things I've never been able to experience before, and got to meet every single one of you guys in chat. And I want to mention that because even after everything, I'm still very grateful to them for allowing me to try this again. Yeah. But also because of this, I have publicly and privately praised VShojo a lot because I saw them. You know, I'm reading notes, y'all.
You got this. You got this.
Okay, we're back. We're back, y'all. Alright, where were we? I can't do this. Yes, I can. No, yes, I can. Alright.
No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yes, I
have
can.
publicly and privately praised VShojo because I saw them giving me this opportunity and platform as a big gift, right? Like a second chance. And I wanted to return the favor however much I can because I trusted them. And I trusted that they had our best intentions in mind. And, you know, that's how it works. I never asked too much or
I like her
looked
fluffy
too
ears.
deeply into
Yeah, her
things,
ears
and I
are
know
flopping
that this
around.
probably
It's every
might
time
sound-
she blinks, and she's blinking a lot, I think, right now because of what's going on, the situation. If you look at VTuber models, they do give off a lot of stuff. Like her blinking right now, you can see her blinking a lot. It's because tears might be coming out.
like, oh, Michi, you're kind of an idiot. But the reason was because I didn't have a reason. I didn't have a reason to do that. I thought, well, yeah. So all of this have definitely came as a shock to me. And I'm sorry to every one of you guys. I know I've spoken a lot about, like, you know, as streamers, we have a platform and, you know,
Now I'm super aware of V's ears floppy around as she blinks now too. You never noticed that? It's one of the obvious things I thought. Blink, blink, blink. You never noticed that? Why would I be looking at your ears? The ears are so cute and fluffy. Why would you not be looking at them? Are you looking at something else? Is there something else you're looking at usually? Is that why? Is that why, Snow? I'll give you two good reasons. Is it the left one and the right one? Is it the left and the right? Yes. Who's a good VTubing company? There are none left. We thought it was VShojo, but after this, I think we all agree there's none left. Hololive, maybe, but then you have to give up your IP, and they give you your IP, and then if you leave, you give that up. So I wouldn't even say Hololive's a good one. There are no good companies left. I thought VShojo was the company. I thought wrong. I should have known they were not the company to go with because they are out of San Francisco, California. I should have known. Good things don't come from California, just saying.
you gotta use it carefully, and I really genuinely apologize.
Buff Pup isn't in a VTube agency. Buff Pup is an indie, right? I think I'm right about that. I'm pretty sure Buff Pup's just an indie.
I trusted them, and I just never really had the reason to ask. However, with saying all this, I would like to say that I am not gonna be ending my streaming here. I'm still going to be continuing as myself, Michi, and if you'd still have me, I'd be so thankful to you. I'm so grateful for all the support you sent me, and I hope you continue to support my friends. Mainly, they're very kind and they mean the world to me, man. I just want
Cut California off from the rest of the US, push it out to sea, and let them fend for themselves. We've been waiting for a huge earthquake that is supposed to come within the last 20 years. They said it was supposed to be within 20 years, and it still has not occurred. And that is supposed to bring half of California into the sea. We are still waiting for that.
want them to be okay, and I want them to be happy, and I want you guys to be okay and to be happy, because by the end of the day, you know, I've never been like shy about admitting it, right? As streamers, well, our income is your income. It's just what it is. So you guys' support, like, you are the reason I'm allowed to be here, and I take that very, very seriously. So I'm sorry that I didn't do my due diligence enough, and I just want you guys to be okay, especially my friends. I know that this is like, it must be tough for everyone going through it. I don't.
Oh my god, I just realized her. Look at her alerts. Oh my god. So and so has been scammed for 16 months.
Know that this is like, it must be tough.
Oh,
for everyone
did she
going through
change
it.
that for
I
the
don't wanna
stream?
talk about it.
Or was that always the case? So and so has been scammed for 12 months. Oh shoot. I wonder if she changed it for the stream or if that was already the case and pretty much they had no idea how real that was.
Too much. It's not my story to tell. And please don't pressure anyone to talk about it too. I am not in the brightest place right now, but I want to stay as positive as I.
So and so gave 5 scams to people. This seems like a Soulbane joke, right? Right? Not like V would ever scam us. I would never. Don't forget to donate to the shrine. Well, ada.
I can. I appreciate you guys a lot, and I just to make it very clear, even though I mentioned the monetary aspect of it, the reason I bring that up is because that is one of the only things I can somewhat talk about. But for me personally, it's not really about the money. If you guys know me, you know that I am not the most business oriented, perhaps. I go with the vibes. I like to believe in the vibes and the whimsy and the pinky promises, you know what I mean? So when I trust people, I fully trust them, and I am very loyal to the people that I trust. This for me is somewhat like a breach of that. Personally, that's just how I feel. Where I'm not saying, and please know that I'm like, don't blame, like, don't point any fingers. And honestly, I did not expect that I would have to do this again, y'all. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought that I was at that point, I would never have to do this again. But it's okay, because just because we had to do it again doesn't mean it's always that bad.
I wonder who she was before. It sounds like she was in Nijisanji. And I wonder who she was in Nijisanji. Also, I did check. Buff Pup is an indie VTuber. Buff Pup is not Corpo.
I guess. Anyways, I want you guys to know that I appreciate you guys a lot. This may be a very selfish ask from me, considering I know that I'm not the only one affected, and by that I mean you guys are affected, right? Emotionally. I know that you all are going through something too, but please, in this community, if it's okay for me to selfishly ask, please don't spread any ill speculations, harassment, bullying, and hate to anybody. There's already so much negativity going around, and I know that I don't say this as much as I really do, but I really do care for all of you. I selfishly just want us to have each other to rely on, be with together, so we can grow stronger as a community and support one another. So if that's okay, I'd really appreciate that, chat. And I do want to say that, you know, I'm not telling you not to feel upset. You're very valid to feel any type of feelings that you're feeling, but you don't have to force yourself to be okay with everything, and you don't have to force yourself to be happy when you're not. But again, please don't spread any ill speculations, harassment, bullying, or hate to other people. I want you guys to also know that I'll do everything I can to help out things behind the scenes as much as possible. It's been a tough month,
Hello,
y'all.
Amica. Welcome
It's
in,
been a
welcome
really-
in. Hope you're having a good day, night,
It's been
evening,
a
morning.
really tough month for me, yo. I'm not gonna lie. I want you guys to know that I'll be looking into it, and I'll update you guys on it as much as I can. And Michael is still here too to help you guys, so don't worry. Michael is still here. Michael has been really kind, and he's been helping me sort everything out, because I don't think I work well under pressure. So thankfully Michael has been kind of making sure that I'm not fumbling too much. So I'll do my best, and I'm also here for you guys always. And yeah.
So in other words, VShojo owes her money as well. So they owe Michi Mochivi money.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I think you'll be okay. You may not have VShojo, but you still have all the friends you made. I'm just picturing Fruit coming back from her hiatus like that meme where Donald Glover walks in with the pizzas and everything in front of him is pure chaos. Interesting. VShojo is done? Why did it change to VShojo is done? What the fox? What is that about? That was weird. The end of VShojo. Lawyer explains. Oh, this is a legal mindset. Fast facts. Okay. All right. This might be the last one we watch. Let me see. What else is there? Hold on. There's that one. K-Son we already watched. Is that it? That might be the last one we need to watch, honestly. There might be others out there. If you guys know any of the VShojo members who are talking about it that I have not covered, feel free to drop it into Discord and let me know. But this might be the last video that we look at. Snow's like, yes, we need to watch this one. This one is a must.
The revelations by Iron Mouse and many other of the talents at VShojo may very well end that VTubing company. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. This is an insane saga that really, it even peaks perhaps what is going down and what went down last year with Doki Bird and with Niji Sanji, insofar as this is looking like it will end this VTubing company, VShojo, completely, and because we're seeing a massive pool of talent that is looking to.
I don't know why, but he gives off like a news anchor. He's like, this is the latest news right here at Legal Mindset.
Exodus from that company. Now, just understand this is a Fast Facts pre-recorded video, but I recorded this after listening to K-Son's stream where she was interviewing with the Japanese quote-unquote branch, we'll talk about that, CEO. So we're going to go through all the facts today and really stick to the legal analysis. If you want to see the full version where I'm doing more, playing more video, I play all of Iron Mouse's video and I play some other stuff as well. You check out my live version, but this is the abbreviated version for those that want to get just down to the facts. And of course, I've got a PowerPoint. So with
funny thing is, he never covered VTuber stuff until his chat asked him to cover the Doki Bird Celine situation. Yeah, I don't remember that situation really. I wasn't into VTuber drama at the time. I wasn't on Twitter or anything. If you think about it, I'm actually kind of new to Twitter. Like, if you look at my Twitter page, I've only been on Twitter since February of 2024. But I didn't even use it then. I think the first time I actually posted was, like, several months after. I just got Twitter and stuff, but I didn't, like, actually use it. So I'm actually kind of new to Twitter. But yeah, I didn't know anything about the VTuber atmosphere and how much VTuber drama comes about until pretty much joining Twitter.
In this case, obviously, it all started with the mouse. And there are two clear things that she dropped in her message that are legally relevant. First is that she has not been paid wages. So she's owed back wages. She's not been paid for a long time. And these payments that she's owed are in delinquency. They've been owed to her for a long time. She hasn't been paid. And this is something that has been mirrored by other talents. We now have talents such as K-Son coming out and saying, I have not been paid for a long time. In fact, I believe she said September of last year, a very, very long time without payments, which is severe, which is significant. So there is an extended period of time with which people have not paid out to the talents. That's a massive, massive problem in and of itself. But the other great problem, and the problem that can have huge criminal liability, is the potential fraud related to the charity, related to the immune deficiency.
It could have criminal liability, but I honestly don't think it's going to. I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to, and it's disappointing.
Foundation that Iron Mouse has always been so vocal for, because it's the cause that represents research that would help people like her and give them a brighter future and hope. And it really was something that she was so invested in. And they decided to take $500,000 and not pay that out to charity. Whatever they did with that, it was not paid to charity. And that is a massive, massive issue. And that's an issue that can see people behind bars, that can have criminal penalties. Absolutely.
It can, but like I said, I don't think it's going to, and it's unfortunate because usually this type of stuff just kind of gets tossed to the wayside.
Absolutely. Once again, these are our allegations at this point, but based on the number of talents speaking up, based on the number of talents that have removed the VShojo branding, we have to, at this point,
just let the lawyer talk. It wouldn't be reacting if I don't say stuff in between, Snow. I can't just let it play and not say stuff in between. That's not how reacting works.
Assume there is some sort of substance behind these allegations. Of course, they are going to have to fight these out. They are going to have to prove this in court or prove this through the regulatory process. However, at this point, going forward and through the scope of this video, understand that I am taking the allegations as credible. For whatever argument you may make of they're not proven yet, whatever, I understand you, but we're going to take them as credible for the purpose of this analysis. So let's continue here. So we had obviously Iron Mouse speak up, and then we had Kason get on with the JP CEO. Now, this was very enlightening and actually gives us more of the business side of what is going on at VShojo. It's very clear from this that VShojo is in financial hot water, that they were not profitable. And whatever the distinction was between JP and US, it's very important to note that there was no official legal distinction. That is an internal distinction, the same as a department, for example, saying HR or whatever else, right? Or janitorial staff. It's an internal distinction. It still fell under the control and is the legal responsibility of the headquarters in San Francisco. So the JP branch, as much as that might be a certain amount of talents that was managed by this quote unquote CEO, was not distinguished financially. So those funds that were coming in were being slushed together. So whatever profit JP was making was not offsetting clearly the losses they were taking on the US side or with their other talents. So as a whole, it seems they were in financial dire straits. Now, one big thing that was brought up during this was that the staff was paid and not the talent. There is a very important reason for that, which we're going to get into, which is all
the talents were locked in contracts and didn't feel like they could actually go anywhere, I'm assuming. That's what he's going to say.
All of the talents are designated, and this is for almost all VTubing companies. I have not seen one contract, and I've reviewed all of them, including the VShojo contract, Niji Sanji, Hololive, Vector, all the greatest hits from big to small, Face Connect. I've seen all of them. I haven't seen a single contract that has said these people are employees. We consider them employees. They all try to make them independent contractors. That's very important. Because when it comes to fighting wages and paying wages, you have to pay employees under labor law, whether it's US law, Japanese law, really all around the world, you've got to pay out those wages. But when it comes to independent contractors, well, you can shaft them and then they've got to come and sue you or bring an action against you or a claim.
How is that even a possibility? How is that? How? Contractors should not be. No, they need to fix that. They need to fix that. Loopholes at its finest. No, that needs to be fixed. Like, that is not all right.
Against you to try to get those back. It puts a massive burden on them to claim those amounts of money. Now, I have, since the Niji Sanji crisis, been.
So, if they don't view you as an employee, that's a red flag right there for a VTubing agency. You need to be viewed as an employee. You cannot be viewed as a contractor, because if you're viewed as a contractor, you can get screwed over like these talents.
Screaming from the top of the hills that this is BS. And I'll put some
Yes.
money in the swear jar for that one. These people are employees. Whether you consider them full-time or part-time employees, they are under the control and authority of these VTubing companies. Now, I understand that there was a lot more anonymity at VShojo than other companies, but you might consider them in that case more like a part-time employee than a full-time employee that's completely controlled by the company. And in that case, they would still be owed wages under a normal analysis. And mind you, just because a contract says that you are an independent contractor does not mean that a particular state or country might not look at the situation, might not look at all the factors and say, under our law, we're going to consider them an employee. It's very important. And I do think.
So in other words, because they're not considered an employee, it's not criminal to not pay them. It's just civil. It's just civil. That is crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, and notice he said it's every contract by every VTuber company. That means even Yeah, no, they do that on purpose, and that's a red flag. That's something. After this situation, I bet a lot of VTubers are gonna look at their contracts more carefully and make sure they are an employee versus a contractor.
In the VTubing industry going forward,
At least I would.
Is a massive lesson that all VTubing talent should be considered employees.
Yes,
like
I just said.
Say, no, I'm an employee if I'm going to work for your company because you need to pay me and you need to be liable if you do not pay me.
Yes.
And I don't think the Japanese CEO, listening to him, is the villain here. He's clearly not at the top of the rung. He's not the CEO or CFO or COO or CTO. He's at a lower rung of responsibility. He certainly cannot make shots for the entire company. That was not his responsibility. And certainly, by the way, none of the talents are liable for this. This is something where they are the victims, and they do deserve your support and your appreciation. And I will say this about all of them: Iron Mouse, Kaysan, Henya, everybody, Mitsubishi, everybody. They do deserve your support and love in this time, and also your understanding that they can't say the things that I can say because they're under a different level of scrutiny. Now, I do hope with some right legal maneuvers, they can finally speak up. And we're going to talk about that today and the way they may be able to speak up. But right now, understand and be patient with them. They need to work with their lawyers in their jurisdiction, or in perhaps California, which is a jurisdiction for VShojo, where I think is very ripe to bring suits and claims, etc. They need to work with their own lawyers to get this done. So be patient with them to get to that point where they will be able to speak. I do believe that time is going to come sooner than later. Sooner than later. So let's continue with this. The best quote I think from this is "Talent first, my ass." That was probably the best Kaysan quote out there, period. And I love Kaysan. I'm definitely a fan. So one important thing here is that VShojo is an American company. Now we've covered Nijisanji, we've covered Cobra Corporation, big Japanese corporations. And one issue with those corporations is they're Japanese. And if the talent is American or Canadian or really non-Japanese at all, it's really, really difficult to come at those companies. This is not the problem for VShojo. VShojo is an American company, and they're an American company headquartered in one of the states with the most strong consumer protections out there, or strong worker protections, employee protections.
In a way, yes, but like if you do something criminal, you're out in a week for most part.
That are very, very broad out there in all the United States. So this is a massive difference. And especially since many of the talents, particularly Iron Mouse, being a American citizen, right? Puerto Rico, still a citizen of the United States, and still able to bring claims, fully able to bring claims in California court, particularly related to labor. This is something where it is ripe for conflict, ripe for either a lawsuit, criminal filings, regulatory filings, because they are in America. And this is why I say they are sunk. This is why I say this is not an Nijisanji situation. This is not an Anycolor. This is not a Hololive situation, whatever else. And in those situations, with Nijisanji, I told everybody, hey, when Doki Bird went down, this is not going to be the end of Nijisanji by any stretch. Same thing when there's bumps in the road with Hololive, right? When Gura leaves, it's not going to be the end of Hololive. However, this will be the end of VShojo. This is very, very much going to tank them because of this and because of their financial situation. And mind you, I will point out one of the
Sounds like the thing that VShojo did wrong was be in the United States versus being in Japan. They should have made their company in Japan.
thing. They were founded in 2020. And what was happening in 2020, and I say this as a corporate attorney who was previously working in a law firm related to issuing bonds that were used by governments and corporations, and then working in-house and seeing a lot of borrowing and corporate debt. During that period of time, corporations were borrowing at insanely low rates. They were drunk on debt and drunk on almost free money that was under the cost of inflation. So hell, why not? Let's just borrow as much as possible. So I have no doubt that they were highly leveraged going into this, and they were highly hyped up coming off of the kind of everybody's on the internet during COVID era, and thinking that was going to continue forever. And their financial projections were perhaps unrealistic given.
Did they really think that COVID was going to last forever, that everybody was going to be unemployed and that nobody would like be outside again? That is such a dumb take if that is what they thought. Like, yes, this will forever be a very popular company because everybody's online. No, it was just during that time. The 2020 to 2022 was a great time to stream, but I came after that. So my growth is not like the people who were in 2020. I should have started sooner. I should have taken the leap and been like, screw it, I'm getting a $3,000 PC. Laugh out loud. Yep. Why do you think every major corporation tries to do their business from overseas? Because it's cheaper labor typically, and I guess there's also a lot of stuff they don't have to worry about litigation-wise versus America. I didn't realize that part, but I always just assumed cheaper labor.
Given the fact that that was a temporary period of time that was over, and there was definitely bumps in the VTuber market as a whole, as people no longer had to be online all the time. And so, yes, the VTuber market did not grow as it was projected to grow based on 2020 numbers or based on 2019 numbers, etc. So I think this number of the founding is actually relevant, and the fact that they are a relatively new company.
And they kind of started near the end of 2020. They should have started sooner, honestly.
Company, and they're private. So once again, we don't have a lot of the disclosures that we required of a public company. But let's talk about the contract. So I have seen a VShojo contract. Now, in full disclosure, it was based on a previous contract. It is not anyone active. So it's an older contract. So they may have changed things in the contract. So I'm basing it on what I said. However, I don't think they've changed certain things. Number one, they do have certain NDA and confidentiality provisions based on that. I don't think they would have deleted that. I don't think they would have removed that. Those are in the contract. The other most important thing is it does frame them as independent contractors, as non-employees. So that is a super important factor, that they are not called employees, because when you are an employee, you get the protection of labor laws. You get the protection of regulation. All of those things don't necessarily apply to independent contractors. Now, different states handle this differently. Different countries handle this differently. If anywhere in the United States is going to handle this differently, it's probably California, which is going to look at that and say, oh, no, these were really employees. These really weren't independent contractors. So I think that doesn't exclude it, but it is important for the intent here, because the intent was always to shaft them out of payment, was always to not pay them. So let's continue here. So labor law, we're going to talk about this real quick. So this is about the claims for unpaid wages. And once again,
I don't know if the intent was always to not pay them. I don't think that was the intent, because if that was the intent, I feel like they would have done that sooner rather than later. But something along the line did not... Something was lost. Something was lost. I don't think it was the intent to not pay them. It was probably an intent to find that loophole, so to speak. They did want that loophole as an escape route, probably.
And a very important factor here is California, particularly if you're going to file it there, which is where VShojo is headquartered, They don't have any restrictions as to residency status.
See, contracts can't prevent unpaid wage claims or reporting of criminal activity. That's what I got from when he said that they were contract employees. You cannot do criminal charges against them because they're contracts. Wait, can't prevent unpaid wage claims or reporting of. Reporting of criminal activity, but they can still report it. Actually, I read that wrong. Contracts can't prevent unpaid wage claims or reporting of criminal activity. So you can still report it as criminal, I'm guessing?
Etc. So you can file a labor claim there. Even the people that are part of the corporation that are non-American might have a potential, if they consult with their attorney, to file claims in California in some way, shape, or fashion. Once again, I do believe all the girls that I've heard of, as particularly Iron Mouse, have competent lawyers, and they should listen to their lawyers. Obviously, listen to their lawyers over anything I say. This is more education for the public and education for people in general. But I do believe there's a possibility for them to make claims in California, and that would be huge for them. That would open the door to so much. So even if you have a contract, that's not going to prevent you from claiming, hey, you need to pay me these wages, right? Or reporting criminal activity. So reporting, hey, they didn't give this money to charity and we knew it. And we
Okay, he's talking about the charity part. So them not paying is not considered criminal because they're on a contract. However, them not paying the talents is not criminal, but them not paying the charity is considered criminal.
We saw it, we knew it, we have testimony, we'll be witnesses against this. We'll go to the federal or state criminal cases for these people. They can still testify to that. There's nothing stopping them. The NDA is not going to stop them. Nothing is preventing them from reporting that crime. In fact, if they try to retaliate for that, VShojo would be punished. You cannot try to retaliate against somebody for reporting a crime. That's not okay anywhere in the US and in most countries in general. So the process for this would be to gather documentation and witnesses, which they're probably doing right now. Their lawyers, particularly Iron Mouse, is probably gathering a lot of documentation, getting witnesses together, and then you'd report it to the labor commissioner. In this case, probably the labor commissioner of California. And after that,
I could see Iron Mouse gathering all the talents, like information, and having her lawyer do all of this with all the talents all together in one lawsuit. I can kind of see that happening. And there might be like side lawsuits with each talent, but I can kind of see like the main lawsuit being Iron Mouse's lawsuit. Corporations are so foxy gross, bro. Yeah. This is as bad as it gets, honestly. I know a lot of corporations are pretty bad, but this takes the cake. I never expected this from VShojo.
There's a required mediation. Now, this might be what why they're saying, wait, why Iron Mouse said in her video, hey, we need to get to a certain part of the legal process. It might be because they want to go to that mediation, see if they can get a settlement, see if VShojo can make this right. Otherwise, if that fails, there's going to be a civil lawsuit. They can bring a civil lawsuit, in which case we'd all get that information. It'd be public information. We'd be able to talk about it. We'd be able to see everything that's going on.
I hope it goes into civil lawsuit. I hope, so we can get more information. Because if it just goes into mediation, then the mediation talks could probably be like, you can't disclose anything else if it goes into mediation talks. But if it goes into civil lawsuit territory, we're going to get some more details. Yeah, I don't think VShojo is going to try and settle. If they were smart, they would. If they were smart.
It would be a nightmare for them.
But they're not smart.
If they
we already see that. They're not smart.
Which we'll eventually touch on that topic. So then we got the silencing the mouse, and as well as the other talent. There are laws that prevent retaliation against employees reporting unlawful acts. You've probably heard of whistleblower protections. That's a whistleblower. Iron Mouse is a whistleblower saying there is...
They're based in California. They're not smart. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm based in California right now. That's why I'm kind of dumb, because I'm based in California. Soon I won't be, but right now I'm dumb.
Something illegal going on here. taking money that's supposed to go to charity, whether that's embezzlement or whatever else, or a fraudulent transfer, like that can be reported, and there's no way you can retaliate against that. Also, there's another California law that's passed that arguably could.
So the issue with laws preventing retaliation against employees reporting unlawful acts, the issue with that is assuming that the employee can prove that they're being retaliated against. That's the issue. So, and also, the person might not have. Oh, ads are starting in a minute. Also, the person might not have money to do any lawsuits or anything, and the burden of proof is on the person to show that show the proof of retaliation. So that's kind of a hard one to prove right there. Hello, Yuri. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day, night, evening, whatever it is where you're at. When is your move? Is it that soon? To be determined. I need to start looking at places. To be determined. Have not looked yet. Oh, you're moving. Good for you. I wish you many good fortunes in your next chapter. Aw, thank you, Mill. Ad coming up soon. Yeah, the ads are coming. The ads are coming. Get ready for the adpocalypse, everyone. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Congratulations for everybody who survived that apocalypse. Those who did not, your sacrifice was not in vain. It lets us continue on.
Prevent NDAs from silencing the employees in regards to reporting bad workplace behavior. So saying, hey, we're not being paid and they took this money from charity. The California law is pretty clear that the NDA cannot stop them from saying that. Now, there are other things that they could argue the NDA could stop them from talking about, stuff like personal relationships or personal interactions, maybe for now, but that NDA is not going to silence them from speaking out on what is clearly illegal. Further, aside from whistleblower protections, you can't stop the reporting of crime. I cannot say that enough. Reporting a crime is always permissible, and no NDA in the world can silence you from reporting a crime. That's just the way it is. That's just the facts. So beyond that, let's get into what's going on with the criminal liability, and that could fall on the corporation, or that could fall on people like Justin, the gun run Ignacio, the CEO. Once again, depending on his level of culpability and the culpability of the COO, the CTO, the other officers of the corporation, this criminal liability could fall not just on the corporation as a whole, but on these individuals, depending on how complicit they were in this scheme and how much knowledge they had of this. So let's get into the criminal.
The issue is trying to prove how much knowledge he had. Nothing might happen to him because they have to prove he had knowledge of it.
Side, shall we? So we've got obviously civil claims, which this is regarding the $500,000 that was not given to charity, that was taken, and God knows what they did with it. Probably, by the way, my best guess on what they did with this is they are leveraged, and they were used that money to pay their current expenses, and they were over leveraged, so they were hoping to pay them back in the future and make some miracle money and pay them back in the future and get everything right. They didn't do that. They didn't give the money to the charity. Now, that's once again, it's my speculation about what they.
But even if that's what they had planned to do, even if there is literally, if you look it up, 5 days in California, you have 5 days to give the charity money to the foundation. Five business days. 5 business days. So even though, if that was their plan, which is a dumb plan, they still passed that time frame by a lot.
Did, but based on what Case on Stream, which just happened just a couple minutes ago, I stopped watching it. It seems they're in financial trouble. And if you're in financial trouble, what are you going to do? You're going to take the money and you're going to use it to pay immediate expenses, probably staff, because they needed to pay them or they'd be hit by labor law restrictions. That's why the JP CEO got paid and Kason didn't. So that's what I think they did with that money. Now, if they did that with that money, there's 3 things that can happen here. Civil claims, both by the donors themselves and by Mouse and anybody else who's a big donor or gave money, federal crimes and their state crimes. Let's talk about civil claims. So first of all, donors can file suit against VShojo. So if they donated money or you donated money, you're out there, you donated money, you might want to just have a chit chat with a lawyer.
Interesting. So like, if Gamer Subs gave them $12K to donate to the charity like they did this time, and it did not go to the charity, they can file a suit against VShojo, a civil claim. Oh my god, VShojo is not going to survive this. There's no way. Hello, welcome back, Ronnie, welcome back.
And talk about what you did, how much money you gave, and what was going on with that. And then there's claims, once again, these are different types of civil claims for misrepresentation, breach of contract, fraudulent transfer. Particularly fraudulent transfer is at play here because of the large sum of money, because it's a massive amount of money. Misrepresentation because they misrepresented that money was going to go to the charity and they didn't give it there. And breach of contract because there's an implicit contract. There's a fiduciary duty there to take that money and give it to the charity. And they broke that understanding. They broke that agreement. And Iron Mouse could also likely bring a claim as well, because once again, she was part of that. She, I'm sure, donated to that as well herself. So she probably has status as a donor, but also just to clear herself from that and saying, hey, look, this money was supposed to go there. It didn't. Let me put this claim in there to make it very clear that they're doing.
I wonder if any of this can be, considered. I know it's not, but like legally speaking, I wonder if any of this can go back on Iron Mouse, since it was quote unquote on her Twitch profile, even though VShojo had access to it and was accessing the funds. I wonder if it can go back on Iron Mouse. I hope not. But legally speaking, I wonder. Well, I mean, California is always on fire. It just, that fire took a while to reach VShojo. Usually, Northern California is not on fire, at least the San Francisco area. But then again, it should be. It should be. No, I'm joking.
Wrong. So I think Iron Mouse also could back up the donos in that. Let's go to federal crimes. This is the fun one. This is the one where they're going to end up paying the money from behind bars. Charity fraud is typically investigated by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission.
Oh yeah, Federal Trade Commission. So the Federal Trade Commission, if you don't know, if you have any scams or anything, they collect all information regarding scams, and they will literally do a class action lawsuit against companies that go against laws. So right now, I know last year they did a civil lawsuit against Adobe because they're making people pay a premium for canceling their subscriptions. And the premium is more than the subscription itself, which is not okay. So the Federal Trade Commission has literally come after Adobe last year. I don't know where the process is of that. I have no idea what the outcome is or if they're still going through it. But the Federal Trade Commission, if you need to report a scam, you go to the Federal Trade Commission. They compile all the information for scams and such. VShojo is going to burn. Yeah.
Oftentimes are working in conjunction with the state attorney general. So those working as kind of a team in order to look into all types of charity fraud and really do the investigation. Once again, we are very preliminary. We're at the allegation phase. This would all need to be investigated. We need to see proof. We need to see documents. But the people who get that are the FTC and the state attorney general. And I think the state attorney general of California, which I'm sure many people are going to contact after this, will be very, very interested in hearing this case. $500,000 from a immunodeficiency charity. I'm sorry, that is deplorable. And that's disgusting. And once again, I try to keep this to objective legal analysis, but the scope of this really does give me a righteous indignation with the amount of money that was taken here from a charity. So depending on the nature of the fraud, a breach of that duty to deliver that money can violate several federal laws. So it can be wire fraud. Wire fraud is one of the easiest ones to get them for. And certainly if they wanted to go down that route, and it is a case where they received the money via the internet, because wire fraud is not just old school wires and telephones, it's the internet. They got them, boys. They got them on that one. Money laundering, potentially making false statements about where the money would go, misrepresentations. Also the FTC Act, which
Greetings. Don't forget to drink plenty of water. Your aesthetic is so bright and lovely. I wish you great success in your future and have a wonderful day. Aw, thank you, Pluto Powers. Thank you. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a good day, night, evening, morning, whatever it is where you're at.
involves various regulation of money regarding charities. All of those things they can be hit with, and they could get real jail time on this. This is serious jail time in real prison. This is not fun, down under the sun. This is all potential prison.
It's potential prison time, but like I said, they usually don't take these things serious. And that's what gets me, is how they don't take these things serious. Because by what they're saying, the completionist should have also gone to jail. Technically, with what he did. VShojo has donated $500,000 to V-Vixen. We like your model. Please work for us. Oh my god. I don't want that money. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't.
Time for people at VShojo. Beyond that, there's state law. There's California Penal Code 503, 501, 515 regarding embezzlement. So assuming that they took the money and they embezzled it and they use it elsewise, that's right there. Breach of fiduciary duty, because they have a duty. They're the trustee of that money to give it over to the charity. That was their duty, fiduciary duty. anybody who, for example, is holding money for somebody else. So if you gave money to a lawyer and that lawyer is supposed to go pay for real estate and they don't pay for real estate, they pay for, cocaine and whatever else, that's going to be a huge, massive problem. So
I'm wondering if Legal Mindset did a video about the completionist. I wonder.
So that would be a breach of fiduciary duty. This was a breach of fiduciary duty in the charity sense. Misleading and deceptive fundraising, I think that speaks for itself. They said the money was going to go one place, it didn't go there. Also, reporting and regulatory violations. So how do they do their taxes? How do they report this? They needed to report this to the government, to the regulatory authorities, saying, hey, we donated this money to charity. Did they take a tax write-off for this? Did they write this off on their taxes? Did they make a false financial report? That's massive. And the last one, and the two things you're afraid of, even the Joker is afraid of, is the IRS and the tax law violations, both. And the tax law, by the way, is at the state and the federal level. So it's both levels. But tax law is perhaps the most massive place, because if they chose to try to take a write-off on this or to falsify their taxes, oh boy, the tax man does not F around. Does not F around.
You don't mess with the IRS.
That's where the people could see very, very serious state consequences. Now, let's talk about the other girls and a little bit about what went on with them. Obviously, a lot of them.
He probably has, but he only recently started doing Fast Facts videos. Otherwise, it would be streams he did on other matters. Yeah, I looked it up. I couldn't find a Legal Mindset video regarding the completionist. I wanted to kind of compare that one to this one. To see what he thought about that one, because I don't think the completionist had any sort of actual criminal stuff go on. So I want to see what could possibly be different from the completionist versus this one. Completionist. Yeah, so he faced allegations of criminal fraud relating to his charity organization. And the charity had mismanaged over $600,000 in donations, so even more than this. Yeah, that's the thing too, is I don't think he ever got any criminal liability for that. And that's why I don't feel like anyone will get criminal liability for this as well. Because you have to prove that you knew this money was being mismanaged. And you have to prove who it was that mismanaged the money. Trust V as lawyer. Yes, trust me, trust me. I do not trust V as my lawyer. Damn. But like, that's why, like, I'm comparing this to completionist, and they're like 1-1. So that's why I really don't think anything's going to come of this criminally.
Have pulled out of the branding. They've no longer branded themselves as VShojo. They're going to have talks on this. Obviously, Case on a very clear talk. I think Henya is going to talk, and some others are going to have a commentary as well, which I may have follow-up videos on that. But it very much seems like these talents were, especially since Kason said she was shafted out of wages, that she didn't get paid her wages. In that case, I think they need to file claims as well. I think all.
Haha, you miss girl. Nah. Snow is biased as Fox. Completionist family is still doing scams. See, and they're not getting any criminal liability or anything like that. They're not getting, jail time or anything. And it's frustrating. They don't take this kind of stuff seriously. So people do it time and time again.
Of the talents need to consider, particularly in California, filing labor law claims. And once they do that, the other thing that's really going to be awesome for them is all those no retaliation clauses apply to them, so they can start speaking more. Now they need to talk to their attorneys and make sure this works for them.
So they can't talk yet because they haven't filed the claim. But once they do file the claim, then they can start speaking, it sounds like.
Under their situation, their personal attorney is comfortable with this. But assuming they are, once they do that, once the claim is initiated, they will be able to say a little bit more. Now, there's another factor here. This applies to Iron Mouse and all the other girls and why they're not going to talk. If you're going to go into a lawsuit situation or you're going to sue, You want to shut up, shut up, shut up. You want to say as little as possible, only what you can say or have to say. So even if these girls can speak technically, or they could say it and they're not going to get punished under the law, or VShojo's not going to be able to sue them for breaching NDA, there may be other good reasons for them not talking.
You don't want to show your hand to the opponent. You don't want them to know what you're coming after them with.
However, that might be able to open up them explaining a little bit more to their audience and giving a little bit more context. And maybe at some point they want to do that. So that's something there. But beyond that, they're owed wages. They're all owed wages. They need to get paid. They need to get paid the money that they're owed. And I say wages, although wages people usually associate with employees, and payments are usually independent contractors in terms of the language there. But to me, these people are not just amazing talents. They're workers. They're true employees that are dedicating a significant amount of their time, and they are giving some control and authority over to this entity to direct them to do certain things and to take certain actions. And beyond that, the financial arrangement between them is one that I think they could argue, particularly with the restrictiveness of the contract, that set them up as employees. Even further, put VShojo on the defensive. If all of them file claims in California, labor law claims, it's on VShojo to prove that they're not employees. So put VShojo on the defensive. Don't allow VShojo to take the offensive. Take the offensive against VShojo. Take it to them. Take it to their court. Push them. And I think that is the right.
Oh, Hinya? I guess we didn't watch Hinya's video. I guess Hinya might have mentioned something?
Emphasis
Because we watched
as they go forward with
Michi's and
this.
we watched
And I'm sure there's lots
K-Songs.
of California attorneys that would help them. And frankly, if any of the girls needed any help finding a California attorney, I'm happy to try to hook them up and recommend them for them. But that said, I think the girls do need to consider their options and speak with local attorneys. Beyond that, this is a big one, especially after the case on stream. I think they need to really worry about VShojo declaring bankruptcy, because
I called it. I called it. I can see them declaring bankruptcy and just not paying out. I called it. I hope none of them hire legal. I hope so too. I hope so for their sakes too.
based on the financial situation as explained by the JP CEO, it looks like they're not doing good. And what I am worried, and the strategy that came out of Case on Stream, which I think is putting together, is they are not paying the independent contractors because they're planning to declare bankruptcy.
Exactly.
I've seen
I
this
called
before
it.
as corporate counsel, as evil corporate counsel from my back days when I did that. That is something corporations do.
Yes.
When they're going
Oh
under,
my
they
God.
stop paying out because they know they're just going to declare bankruptcy. And what happens when you declare bankruptcy? Well, there's two types of debt. There's secured debt and there's unsecured debt. Secured debt gets paid first. The stuff like mortgages or something like a lien on a car, right? It's secured by something. There's something they can take.
So employees will be paid first. They would be secured debt.
Paid first. Then there's going to be employees' wages. Those are paid. But
Yes.
anything else, including independent contractors,
they're
is
not
unsecured and
employees.
dischargeable. So the big thing they're banking for
They're not,
is
yeah, like he said, they are unsecured because they're contractors.
to get to discharge the payments because they label them as independent contractors. That's their strategy. I mean, I see it clear as day. And to me, the question is not only are they going to declare bankruptcy, it's how quickly are they going to declare bankruptcy?
Like I said, I don't think they planned on not paying them. I think they had it as a way out just in case. And this was the just in case.
In fact, if I was the CEO of VShojo, I'd be running right now into the bankruptcy court to declare it right now so they can stop all payments. And now that would put it on them to battle back. That would put it on the talents. So I think the VShojo response is going to be to immediately declare bankruptcy. And why is that? They lost their largest talent. There's no way they can financially recover. You can't explain to me how VShojo,
They didn't just lose their largest talent. They lost all their talents, all of them. And they can't just be like, oh, we're hiring more talents. Who the fox is going to go over to that company now? When they learn K-Son hasn't been paid since September,
who is already losing money by the own admission of their staff, by the own admission of the JP CEO, is already losing money. They're already not able to pay. and suddenly they're going to lose all their talent and be able to pay? No, no one's going to give this company a loan, especially with this bad PR. Are you kidding me? No, this is a clear bankruptcy scenario. And in bankruptcy, they're going to try to discharge that. Now, there's a little ray of hope, a tiny little smidgen of hope, right? Is that there is a special exemption for unpaid commissions to independent contractors. So debt qualifies for priority status, meaning it gets higher status than unsecured debt if during the 12 months before the bankruptcy, 75% of the contractor's own earnings were from the debtor. So in this case, that would apply to most of the girls, I imagine. Now, maybe they have other earnings or other money from elsewhere, but if they were making most of their money from VShojo, that is a big exemption that could fly in there. Once again, it doesn't guarantee they get paid out, but it does give a glimmer of hope if they go the bankruptcy route, which I think it's looking like right now. That's what I've got for today for the Fast Facts version, guys. This has been insane. I will be on top of this. Check out the live if you want to get all the questions, the banter, all that other stuff, and I will catch you on the...
Wow, that's I called it. Bankruptcy. I called it right away. I'm like, I have a feeling they're going to do bankruptcy and not pay the talents, and it looks like even Legal Mindset is in the same thought process with that. Same thought process. There's the video link. If you guys want to give it a like. The mouse has roared. Top comment. I give that a like. Not familiar with any VTubers, but I'm appalled by the sheer brazenness and enormous fraud committed on Iron Mouse and others. May they prevail in court in their future endeavors. This one's talking about Iron Mouse's condition. Doesn't matter if it's VTubing or other entertainment, the lesson has stood for decades. Don't fox with the mouse. But yeah, so that's the VShojo drama in a nutshell. They're probably gonna file for bankruptcy and not pay the talents because they're considered contractors and not employees. The fraud situation with the charity, the fundraiser fraud, I don't see anything happening. Thank you, Maku, for the follow. Much appreciated, Thank you. Hope you're having a good day, night, evening, whatever it is where you're at. Yeah, so... Interesting. Yeah, that was what I heard about him talk about first, as they probably won't get their wages, but the charity charges are unavoidable. Yeah, they're gonna have to pay charity, but like I said, I don't see anything criminal happening, which is unfortunate. Unless if they decide to make a example out of them, maybe they could possibly try to make an example out of them. But typically nothing happens. They could try to make an example though, and actually go after them. That's like McDonald's getting rid of the Big Mac. Without it, they will shut down. I don't really get Big Macs, though. I usually just get a McDouble or something like that. I hope the courts go for the blood. I hope they do too, but that's like being very, very optimistic. Especially in California. That's being very, very optimistic. Alright, did VShojo... Henya? We didn't see a Henya video. I don't see anything regarding Henya leaving. Because I know it was mentioned. Henya leaving VShojo. Yeah, I don't see anything with Henya, so I guess there's nothing with Henya. Alright, we've been streaming for 3.5 hours. And we have not done any Oblivion, which was what was scheduled today. I'm trying to think, do I want to do some Oblivion? We've already been streaming for 3.5 hours. I'm kind of okay to call it there, honestly. Because, yeah, that was actually a very, very long react stream. Much longer than I expected. My day's going good so far. Thank you for the question, Maku. I hope yours is going good. We could react to Fox stuff. Nah. Nah, we don't need to react to Fox stuff. That's what Discord's for. Let's see. Let me see. All right, we are gonna go ahead and Kenya on Twitter says she will explain things tomorrow. I think that's today because it was 15 hours ago. That's right. I think she did tweet that. I did look at her tweets and she did tweet that. Yeah, I think we'll call it there because we've already streamed over 3 hours, so we'll call it there. We're gonna go ahead and raid into Nari. He is awesome. He's playing some Clear Obscure Expedition 33, which I do want to play. It is on my list of games to play because the game's supposed to be so good. So he is playing that, so we're gonna go ahead and raid into him. Here's the raid message for everybody. Top one is for subscribers, bottom one is for followers. And yeah. I will be back tomorrow. We will not be reacting tomorrow. We will be actually playing video games. Tomorrow we'll be back to normal schedule. We'll be playing Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. That is for tomorrow. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. It's much, much appreciated. I will see you guys all tomorrow, 10 a.m. PST, same place, same time, with some Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza. Unless if 500 new videos come out. I mean, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. And with that being said, please keep all paws and tails inside at... Oh my god, I messed that up. I should have this down by now. With that being said, please keep all paws and tails inside the right at all times. And here we go. Ew, woo.
So over here on the other side of the beach,